Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Husband!
Wife!
Do you know what we're doing today?
I believe we're doing an actual episode of a chapter from the Bible in Zechariah. Yeah. So, last time when we did an actual chapter from the Bible, we did Zechariah Chapter 8. And in that chapter, it was a good thing, I guess. Like God, what are you doing?
I'm doing
I know, I'm really annoyed.
I wondered how long it would take you. Go on.
Okay.
What happened in
Are we
Zechariah
gonna
Chapter
stop
8?
with the
Yes,
Okay.
we are.
Thank you. Oh. God's in a good mood now.
He is.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna bring all the good shit back. You guys are gonna be awesome.
Guess who's back again. God is back. Tell a friend.
there's gonna be old folks with canes in the roads
And kids.
and it's gonna be a good old time. There's gonna be like food and shit.
It's gonna be like the 4th of July,
Yeah, and
motherfuckers.
he's not only bringing people back from exile, but he's gonna like bring all the people back. There's gonna be so many fucking people, they won't know what to do with them.
Hence
and
the
they're
measuring tape from that other chapter.
And they're all going to want to grab an Israelite by the robe. Like there's going to be like 10 for every one of them.
Like I said, tell a friend.
Yeah. And it's just going to be a good old time.
Yeah.
So that was the gist of Zechariah Chapter 8. And what are we getting into today?
Today we are getting into Zechariah Chapter 9. All right, let's hop into Zechariah Chapter 9.
Okay.
9. Remember how I told you that chapters 1 through 8 were like first Zechariah?
Yes.
And so now we're entering second Zechariah.
Right.
And
with
so
all the
it's
doom and gloom and bullshit.
In totally different
Right.
school or whatever.
Yeah.
Like maybe even like 100 or 200 years later.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Yeah.
Right. So just making sure I'm setting the scene. Here we
Yeah.
go. Okay. The word of the Lord is against the land of Hadrach and will come to rest on Damascus. For the eyes of all people and all the tribes of Israel are on the Lord, and on Hamath too, which borders on it, and on Tyre and Sidon, though they are very skillful. Tyre has built herself a stronghold. She has heaped up silver like dust and gold like the dirt of the streets. But the Lord will take away her possessions and destroy her power on the sea, and she will be consumed by fire. So fuck them, guys.
So we're leaning heavy into the God's going to destroy their enemies.
Yes.
Portion of what we read before. Like this is what they're focused. This is what they choose. Not the happy we're going to rebuild, but we're going to destroy the fuck out of our enemies.
Yeah. This section is literally called Judgment on Neighboring Nations.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, yay, unicorns and gold. Fuck those guys, kill them. I mean, wow, like the whiplash, the emotional roller coaster I'm on here.
Well, I mean, even in the first 8 chapters, God did say that he was going to take retribution on Israel's enemies. So
and now we're going to talk about it.
Now we're hearing all about it, apparently.
Because vindication and retribution and murdery kill stuff is just, it's the best.
I guess.
Love a God who's after that.
That's what it seems like God's all about.
Tyre has built herself a stronghold. She has heaped up silver like dust. Oh, I already read that. Yeah. And gold like the dirt of the streets. But the Lord will take away her possessions and destroy her power on the sea, and she will be consumed by fire. Because like I said, fuck those guys.
Right.
Ashkelon will see it and fear. Gaza will writhe in agony, and Ekron too, for her hope will wither. Gaza will lose her king, and Ashkelon will be deserted. A mongrel people will occupy Ashdod. Mongrel. That's dehumanizing.
Yeah.
As fuck.
Right.
And I will put an end to the pride of the Philistines.
Okay.
I will take the blood from their mouths, the forbidden food from between their teeth. I'm going to rip their fucking throats out because I'm a vampire now.
Yeah. Yeah. Are the forbidden foods, are these foods that God banned from eating earlier on in the Bible, I wonder?
I don't know. Or is it food that they stole from Judah's fields?
But it says forbidden.
Israel's fields.
So that sounds to me like
Are they eating pork?
Right.
Those
Are they eating pork? Are they eating shrimp? Right?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm allergic to shrimp.
They're probably even wearing mixed threads.
God damn it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I bet they cut their hair too. Those bastards. Those who are left will belong to our God and become a clan in Judah.
Okay.
A clan of freaks from the outside.
Those who are left, the people that
I'm going to kill a bunch.
Right. Okay.
But I'll pick up a couple of orphans here and there, and then I'll put them all together and mix them up and say, y'all marry each other, make babies.
I was going to say, generally, he only saved the, non-adult women.
Yeah.
Who are virgins.
Yeah, I'm going to marry you off. You're a tribe now. Get pregnant and have babies.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So those who are left will belong to our God and become a clan in Judah, and Ekron will be like the Jebusites. But I will encamp at my temple to guard it against marauding forces.
Okay.
Never again will an oppressor overrun my people.
Never again, huh?
For now I am keeping watch.
That
Boom.
didn't pan out as well as he thinks it's going to pan out.
Was not a good prophecy to make.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Fail.
I feel like he's done a lot of prophecies that didn't come true. We don't really focus on those a whole lot, right?
Yeah.
We just focus on the ones that did hypothetically come true.
And those are all real retrofit.
Right. Yeah.
You got real stretchy.
But I'm like, God says some things sometimes that don't actually track.
Yeah.
And we never talk about that, really. No one ever really talks about that.
We don't talk about bad prophecies or Juno. Yeah. Bruno. I don't know why I said Juno.
I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Now we're entering a different little section. Okay.
Yeah.
It's still chapter 1.
Right.
Okay. Or I said chapter 1, but I meant 9. Chapter 9. Yes. But it is the first chapter of
the second
Zechariah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Rejoice greatly, daughter Zion. Okay.
Okay.
Be happy.
Yeah.
Shout, daughter Jerusalem. See, your king comes to you. Yeah, he does. Righteous and victorious, lowly, and riding on a donkey.
Oh.
On a colt, the foal of a donkey.
Okay.
I will take away the chariots from Ephraim and the war horses from Jerusalem, and the battle bow will be broken.
This is why we always see Jesus on a donkey, isn't it? Okay.
Or his parents on a donkey. Mary's on the donkey.
Right.
And Joseph is beside the donkey leading it.
But apparently donkey doesn't just mean ass, it means humble.
Yeah.
And lowly and with the people as opposed to like higher than them or something.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Whoever this is, will proclaim peace to the nations. His rule will extend from sea to sea and from the river to the ends of the earth.
Okay.
As for you, because of the blood of my covenant with you, I will free your prisoners from the waterless pit.
The waterless pit. Okay. I'm not sure what that's referencing.
Is that
but
a desert? Waterless
maybe?
pit?
Maybe. There's a lot of things in here. I'm kind of like, I'm going to look forward to the Q&A already. Yeah, like we're in the first new chapter here past our last Q&A. And I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, this is weird stuff. What's
Right.
a waterless pit?
A lot of this stuff is not going to make sense to people in this age, right? Because it's referencing stuff that we don't really fully understand. And obviously we're reading this off the cuff with not a lot of digging into it ahead of time. So
think about this. Think about how language changes from day to day. Like if you said skibbity toilet to a boomer, they would have no fucking idea. And most Gen Xers don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, right?
No, we're definitely.
we barely know what a skibbity toilet is.
Right, and I'm sorry that I do.
Right,
but,
right. But that's what I'm saying. Like language changes quickly in a day, especially now with the internet. Like over 2,000 plus years. Like what even the fuck are we talking about?
Well, I mean, there's whole cities that don't even exist, that there are regions and cities that don't even exist anymore that they reference in the Bible. So to understand what they're trying to get at is very difficult sometimes.
They're like, the skibbity toilet. And we're like, no, I don't know what a skibbity toilet is. And they're like, well, it's the one next to the doody doo doo. And we're like, I still don't know what you're saying because I don't know a doody doo doo.
It's the one next to Candy Mountain, don't you know?
Candy Mountain. Charlie. Return to your fortress, you prisoners of hope. Even now I announce that I will restore twice as much to you. There's right now, speaking of twice as much, there's a commercial that we keep seeing where this guy's like, for every window you buy, you get one free. That means if you buy 2, you get 4.
Right.
And if you buy 3, you get 6.
Yeah.
And if you buy 4, you get 8.
Yeah.
And then he even says, if you buy 5, you get 10. And I'm like, Jesus, guy, we get it.
Yeah.
Good mathin'.
Right.
Yeah. But that's what I'm thinking of when he says, I'll restore twice as much to you. He's going to give you double windows. That's a deal. That's a steal of a deal.
Yeah. Act quickly.
Operators are standing
Gods
by.
are standing by.
I will bend Judah as I bend my bow and fill it with Ephraim. I will rouse your sons, Zion, against your sons, Greece, and make you like a warrior's sword. So he's going to make them fight. Then the Lord will appear over them. His arrow will flash like lightning, like Thor.
Okay.
No, Thor's the god of thunder.
Sure, yeah.
Who's the god of... Oh, Zeus.
Right.
Zeus. He's like...
You're talking about 2 different fucking religions here.
I am.
You're talking about Norse
totally.
and then,
I know. But I had to bring it in because, his arrow will flash like lightning. And I'm thinking about gods and lightning and...
Sure. I would say Thor and Zeus are pretty closely related with power type things that they have.
Yeah.
Because, thunder and lightning kind of go with Thor and Zeus. So
thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening. The sovereign Lord will sound the trumpet. He will march in the storms of the south, and the Lord Almighty will shield them. Lord Almighty. They will destroy and overcome with sling stones.
Sounds like they're all of a sudden mad at the Greeks, which is weird because this is like the first time I recall hearing that.
Well, this might be during the time when the Greeks and the Romans split from each other.
Maybe. I mean, this is probably post Alexander the Great, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right? So,
yeah, because remember, these were probably written later.
Yeah.
And so this might be during one of the bad Legades. I think those were the Greek guys.
Okay.
And remember, there were some good, some bad. The dappled horse represented them.
Right, yeah.
Maybe this is like written during one of the bad Greek periods.
Okay.
And they're like, fuck those Grecians.
Right, yeah.
Until like 100 years from now when it's like, we love you, Grecians.
Right.
I don't know. Greece is cool. I don't know.
They're not really, like, Greece still exists, but, like, they're not really relevant anymore. Like, who cares?
Well, I mean, their economy crashed.
Yeah. But, I mean, as far as, like, I'm not saying they're not relevant. Obviously, people live there and, whatever. But they're not a main player in the world politics. Like, they are merely one of the countries out there that are in
Europe.
That are in Europe, like, and again, I'm not trying to diminish Greece. I'm just saying that to the level at which the Bible puts Greece at here as one of the major enemies is just like something I can't even imagine right now.
I know. They're like, fucking Greece. And we're like, it's just Greece.
Right.
Relax.
Yeah. Like, what's your big deal, man?
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not like it's Russia.
Right.
Calm your tits. Yeah. When I think of Greece, all I could think is that when my dad was stationed in southern Italy, they used to organize, like, the Air Force guys used to organize trips to Corfu, and we never got to go. And I'm just like so bummed about that. Like, we were so close.
Right.
I almost got to see Greece. Like, what the fuck? So I can't think of Greece without, like,
on that note,
heartache.
if there's any Greece, like, atheist clubs out there that want to have us over, just pay for our flight and we'll come right over.
Oh my God, that would be so amazing. I mean, Italy for that matter.
Honestly, that goes for pretty much anywhere.
Well, yeah, actually, we'll come see you anywhere.
Yeah, we
like travel.
I might even go to Florida. That's a rough
There
one,
are
but,
parts of Florida I still would love to see. Like, I've never been to Miami. I've never been to the Keys. Those would be cool.
Yeah.
I want to see the Hemingway house, and pet all those polydactyl kitties.
We got a polydactyl cat here, that we have. And we got to see where they all are,
Yeah. All right. Anyways, so they're going to overcome with sling stones.
Okay.
Okay. They will drink and roar as with wine. They will be full like a bowl used for sprinkling the corners of the altar.
Okay.
Like a bowl full of jelly. The Lord their God will save his people on that day as a shepherd saves his flock. You know how it be.
Right.
They will sparkle in his land like jewels in a crown. How attractive and beautiful they will be! Exclamation point.
I mean, if they look like jewels of a crown, I guess so. Yeah.
Right. Grain will make the young men thrive, and new wine, the young women. The end.
And new wine, the young women?
Will make them thrive.
Sure.
It's the sentence basically is saying grain is going to be great for the men and wine will be great for the women.
Why is wine great for the women?
Because when you get a bitch drunk, it makes her more pliable, and then you.
So it's still great for the men then.
Yeah.
It's not really about the woman.
No.
Okay.
You got to plump up those luscious lips.
If you keep them drunk, then they don't complain as much, right?
Yeah.
So
that's
then,
what I'm saying.
there you go. It just keeps them docile and not caring if they're being shit on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, they're vixen honey lips and,
they have those wavy paths that they take, Yeah, right.
You know how you got to beat a bitch down, right? Fucking make me a sandwich.
just for the record, we don't advocate any of that.
No. Sorry, new listener. You are the wrong place if you think that I'm okay with any of the things I just said.
No, I just had to say that out loud real quick.
Right. That's one of those /sarcasm.
Yeah, right. Do you have, was that it?
That was the end.
That was the end.
That was the end.
So that's where we're going. Just kill people a lot.
Kill. Yeah. Stabby.
Okay. I'm not sure I appreciate the direction that this is going in, but
you stab it with your steely knives, but you just can't kill the beast.
Yeah, I guess not.
Right?
I mean, that's pretty much the mantra for the whole Old Testament. They can't ever kill enough people.
They can't ever kill any beasts, honestly. They just keep coming back.
It's true. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that was Zechariah chapter 9.
Sure as fuck was.
And we probably won't be back tomorrow with an episode because we're going to be doing our live midway through the day.
That's right.
But so we'll have a special going out on Monday, and then we'll be back with regular episodes starting again on Tuesday.
Yeah, and that will be Zechariah chapter 10.
And we'll see you then.
And see us Tuesday for our Tuesday night for our live Discord
at 10 p.m.
at
Eastern.
10 p.m. Eastern.
And you'll be getting this in time to still make the Sunday one at 2 p.m. Eastern.
That's right.
So always in the show notes, always on our website, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. We'll see you there.
See you there.
Bye.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Yeah. We've been married for a long time.
More than 15, less than 20
years. Yeah. We got married twice. It's not our fault. Well, and then none of us really, we don't really,
remember.
We didn't remember. We don't remember.
Because I'm bad with numbers.
We admitted it to 1 year and it's just been a thing now.
Yeah.
Like it's somewhere in that range.
It's somewhere.
It's something.
It's not that we got married twice. It's that we got married 1 year to have me put on your insurance and stuff and have the kids put on your insurance. And then the next year is when we had our ceremony.
Right. Yeah. So we're doing a podcast today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. No anniversary shenanigans.
So I believe last time we read Zechariah chapter 9.
Sure as fuck did.
Yeah, and in that chapter, God was going to fuck up a bunch of towns.
Yeah.
He was like...
As he does.
He was like, Tyre, you're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if, you were not on that list, you're good. So like, Judah, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, after that, it's going to be all peaceful after he kills a bunch of people.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and then there was some dude riding in on a donkey. That's probably Jesus if you're a Christian.
Yeah.
But, whatever.
Okay. I don't think that that's true.
I said if you're a Christian.
I don't even think that's true if you're a Christian. I don't think Christians think that Jesus was walking in on a donkey.
I've seen that image before. That's definitely an image that's out there. It's like the humble donkey rider.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's from Zechariah.
Why not? It's right there. This is the Jesus dude riding in on a donkey.
No, because that would be pre his birth.
Right. That's why it's called a prophecy.
Oh my God, I cannot.
I'm just saying.
I cannot.
I'm not saying it's correct.
Okay.
I'm saying that early Christians were like, what are all the things we can make him be? And this is one of those things.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. So that was Zechariah chapter 9, which means that today we're getting into
Zechariah chapter 10.
All right. Let's do this.
Okie dokie. Alrighty then. We are getting into Zechariah chapter 10.
All right.
Ask the Lord for rain in the springtime.
Okay, but usually it just comes in the springtime
happens,
anyway. Like,
right?
Yeah.
That's what spring is
Spring
renowned
showers,
for.
like that's the thing. At least here,
In Ohio, they bring May flowers.
Probably in the Sahara, it never rains. I'm just saying.
Like
Just kind of depends on where you are in the world.
Rain. I miss you.
I really don't think it has anything to do with God. Just your location on the planet. That's pretty much all that really matters.
So anyway.
Yeah.
It is the Lord who sends the thunderstorms.
Is it?
Bitch.
Okay. All right.
He gives showers of rain, yeah, he does, to all people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And plants of the field to everyone.
I'm curious, what was God's purpose when he froze the polar ice caps?
Oh, dude, I don't know.
No, I'm just saying, like, if he's bringing the rain, he obviously brought the polar ice caps. Like, what's the fucking point? Why would you freeze the ends of the earth? Like, why?
I want to know, did you ever freeze the rain? The idols speak deceitfully. Diviners see visions that lie. They tell dreams that are false. They give comfort in vain.
All I can hear, though, is that the idols are speaking. I think somebody is kind of,
This is what I hear. Your magic is ugly and mine is pretty.
Right, yeah.
Magic, bad, except for this one.
Yeah.
Therefore, the people wander like sheep, oppressed for lack of a shepherd.
Yeah. If they're wandering like sheep for lack of a shepherd.
Uh-huh.
So instead, they're gonna wander like followers of a shepherd with a shepherd. Like they're still sheep, though.
Yeah.
Because like they're always sheep.
Yes.
But they just have somebody to guide them.
They need a leader. They need a guide.
Or rule them.
Yeah.
Or dominate them. Whatever word you want to use.
Fleece
right.
them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes. My anger burns against the shepherds, and I will punish the leaders. For the Lord Almighty will care for his flock, the people of Judah, and make them like a proud horse in battle. From Judah will come the cornerstone. From him, the tent peg. From him, the battle bow. From him, every ruler and calculator.
From
and
him
compass.
being the God, right? The Yahweh. The Yahweh.
I'm sorry, I'm doing math over here.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Sorry. Okay. Measuring tape.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
Together, they will be like warriors in battle, trampling their enemies into the mud of the streets. They will fight because the Lord is with them, and they will put the enemy horsemen to shame. Fight.
Okay. All right.
Take your corners.
Okay. Yeah.
I will strengthen Judah and save the tribes of Joseph. I will restore them because I have compassion on them.
Not a whole lot, though.
No. They will be as though I had not rejected them, even though we all know I did. For I am the Lord their God, and I will answer them this time.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't help but like picture him like talking out the side of his mouth and doing the evil laugh.
Because it's so ridiculous. Like
Right?
we literally every time we hear about him being good to them, it's followed or preceded by him being shitty at them.
Right.
So
The Ephraimites will become like warriors, and their hearts will be glad as with wine.
okay.
I know when my heart is like a warrior, I love a good glass of wine.
Who the fuck are the Ephraimites?
Ephraim's?
Right. Oh, okay. Ephraim and like Manasseh and all that. Yeah. Okay.
Manasseh.
But like they were not. Well, I guess he says he's going to bring them back together. So maybe they're part of that bringing back together.
Sure.
Okay.
Their children will see it and be joyful. Their hearts will rejoice in the Lord. I will signal for them and gather them in. Surely I will redeem them. They will be as numerous as before. Yay!
Okay.
Though I scatter, smother, cover them among the peoples, like a Waffle House.
Yeah.
No, just scatter. It just says scatter.
Yeah.
Yet in distant lands, they will remember me. And that's why they will eventually translate the Bible into Greek. Because even though they're over there away from me,
Right.
they're still
They're still
love me.
Yahweh's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. They and their children will survive, and they will return. I will bring them back from Egypt and gather them from Assyria. I will bring them to Gilead and Lebanon, and there will not be room enough for them, even though we did measure. Remember that one chapter with the measuring tape? Like, I'm telling you ahead of time, you did a shitty measuring job, Angel.
Right. Yeah.
They will pass through the sea of trouble. The surging sea will be subdued, and all the depths of the Nile will dry up.
Oh.
That didn't happen.
Right?
That Nile
Yeah.
did not dry up because we still have it today.
Well, it goes through phases. Sometimes it's really low. Sometimes it's really high. It just depends on what season it is.
But did the depths of the Nile ever dry up?
No.
Assyria, those fucks.
Yeah.
Their pride will be brought down, and Egypt's scepter will pass away.
Okay.
I mean,
This sounds like. Why are we still talking about Assyria? Because I thought like
didn't they get their asses beat?
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Didn't Canaanites beat them?
Right.
Yeah.
So like when we were talking in chapters 1 through 8, they had already kind of been conquered from what I understood.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about them again.
Yeah. Weird.
But we're supposedly writing this years and years later, so it feels like they just were doing like history lessons and they didn't quite get the time frame right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we didn't like those Assyrians back then. Put them in there too.
Yeah. Make sure we talk about what dicks they were. But also, you're saying Egypt's scepter will pass away.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe they're not like the same leadership they were before, but I gotta tell you, when Alexander the Great conquers the world,
Yeah.
they do okay for themselves,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
Even then when Rome comes along and is like, I don't know, Egypt,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
me and you, we got to go. You know, Egypt still kind of holds their own in history.
Well, because they were a major power, you know?
Right. That's
And-
what I'm saying. Did her scepter pass away? That's not the way I would phrase that.
Right. Right.
Like, I would say, Egypt is never as strong as she used to be.
Yeah.
I would be like, okay, I'll buy that. But
Sure.
her scepter passes away. I don't know, dude. 2,000 years later, we still got a really good Egypt.
Well, and
you
they're
know?
definitely not mostly Christian or anything,
Right.
or Jewish there. So
Yeah.
I mean, they've managed to stay away from Yahweh
Mm-hmm.
in that part of the world,
Yeah.
and stay a major power.
Yeah.
You know? So
That's what I'm saying.
right,
Like, I don't think you got that one right.
right.
Unless it's still in the time to come.
Although I should say, I think they are majority Muslim, so maybe they do kind of worship the.
They have the Allah. Is that their
Abrahamic God? You know,
Yeah.
which is
Yahweh adjacent.
Sure.
Isn't it like the same guy? But if you ask anybody, they're like, absolutely not.
I don't really want to speak to that because I don't understand exactly, but
they all sound silly to me. So to me, they are the same, but are they brothers?
It's an Abrahamic religion. So it's based off of the same ish thing.
Right.
So
it's just another spelling of his name is what I'm getting at.
Maybe. I don't want to speak to that with any authority, but
I don't want to get killed either.
Well, I just don't know. That's more as to why I'm not saying anything.
I don't know. When I hear like it's an Abrahamic religion and they all believe in the same God of Abraham, then I'm like, so they call him different names, but it's the same guy, right?
Again, I don't want to speak to that because I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we need to learn more about Allah so that we can figure out if he is the brother or the same guy as Yahweh.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Assyria's pride will be brought down and Egypt's scepter will pass away. I will strengthen them in the Lord. In his name, they will live securely, declares the Lord.
Oh, so they're gonna accept the Lord.
Sure.
They're gonna be Yahwehites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Egypt and Assyria, they're gonna be
which never happened.
Jewish and then Christian.
That's not a thing.
Nope. That is not a thing. Sorry, you got that one wrong, dude.
Right. And I'm not sure how things went way back when, and like
between
maybe there was
0 and 1900, maybe something happened, but sure. I don't think so.
Right. In
fact, didn't last.
Prior to World War II, I think that the area of Israel was actually predominantly not Israelites. So that was and I'm not sure. I'd have to look into exactly who was living in that land at the time, but there was a lot of people displaced when they moved the Jewish people back to their quote unquote homeland.
Right.
So, which that's a whole other story.
And that's causing a lot of problems even still today now.
Oh, that's almost the entirety of the Middle East problem at this point in time in history.
Like we kicked the can down the road on that one, kids.
Yeah. Not in a great way.
Nope.
All right. Well, you have anything else to share about Zechariah today?
No, I really don't understand this chapter. It sounded like a dumb prophecy shit.
Yeah.
So I gotta look that shit up.
There wasn't a whole lot of like fun stuff in that one. There was no flying women in lead covered baskets.
No baskets.
No 20-foot scrolls flying over top everybody, and
no scrolleronis and pizza rolls.
This group of people who wrote this version of the Zechariah, they weren't as creative. All right. I do want to mention, just because I like to keep bringing it up, but we recently started a new once a month podcast on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern. So for those of you who have...
It's not every Sunday.
It's not every Sunday. I said once a month. But for those of you who have not been able to make the 10 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays that we do, we're now doing one in the middle of the day on Sundays. So if you have the ability to join us and would like to see what we do or don't do, see
how the sausage really isn't made.
Right, yeah. Definitely hop on over to our Discord server and join up and join us for one of those lives, because we would love to see you there.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I am going to warn you, there might be some inside jokes going on and different things because we have a great group of people that join us weekly for our lives. So don't shy away. Just sit there and take it in for a bit, and then you'll get in on the joke soon enough.
And not only that, they're very welcoming, and they all make fun of me.
Yeah.
So
and me too.
I mean, what more could you want?
Right. Yeah. It's a great time.
Yeah.
All right. That's all we got for today. So we will hopefully be back tomorrow with...
Zechariah Chapter 11.
All right.
I was not prepared.
We'll see you then.
May. A husband.
A wife.
Are you ready?
I am.
What are we doing?
Well, last time we did a regular episode, we did Zechariah Chapter 10.
Sure as fuck did.
Yeah. And in that chapter, God was like, fuck your idols. Trust me. Don't follow these false prophets. You should only listen to me. And then,
obviously.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to bring everyone home from exile. And he skipped over the bit where he was the one that put them in exile.
Right.
That was about it, really.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a whole lot to the last chapter.
Right.
That was the gist of
He's
it.
like, I'm God, hear me roar.
Right. Yeah. Don't listen to those stone and wood things over there or the false prophet people and listen to me. And I didn't fuck you. What are you talking about? I don't know. But I saved you.
Everything's been great. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Right. So that was Zechariah chapter 10.
Sure as fuck was.
Which means that today we're getting into
Zechariah Chapter 11.
All right. Let's do this.
Oh, Zach. Okay, do you know that song? Someone's knocking at your door.
Yes.
Somebody's ringing a bell.
I do.
Okay,
I don't know who sang it,
Yeah,
but it's a song that's definitely out there.
What is that?
It's music.
Okay. It's like a 70s song, right?
Right. Like you hit me with that right off the bat.
Well,
here,
here's why.
And I'm
Here's
like,
why.
I don't know.
Here's why. Because this is how this chapter starts.
Yeah.
Open your doors.
Okay.
And so I was like,
so that's what it reminded
open
you
your
of.
doors,
Okay.
you know?
All right. Yeah.
Someone's knocking at your door. Lebanon.
Okay.
Open your doors, Lebanon, so that fire may devour your cedars.
Good. No.
Right?
Let's not. Eh?
Hey, open your doors. I have fire for your house.
Right. Yeah. That's not.
No, thank you.
Right. Pass. Hard pass.
Wail, you juniper, for the cedar has fallen.
Oh, okay.
The stately trees are ruined.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
I mean, this is obviously God destroying people, apparently.
And trees.
Or at least hypothetically.
I mean, all we've heard is
Yeah, why-
about these wonderful trees of Lebanon, the cedars of Lebanon. They were the ones that were brought down to make the fucking bathtub or what the fuck
green
ever.
grass definitely ain't growing all around anymore.
It ain't growing all around.
Yeah.
No, this is actually making me very sad. Okay, I'm not like one of those people
It's just,
that
we're literally
like, sits in a forest and like communes with trees.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, and I hear you, and I know that there are people like that, and like I can sit and appreciate nature for a few minutes, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done now.
Have you ever sat in a pine forest? You know, have you ever been to a pine forest before?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Like when the needles drop, it deadens the sound in that area. So like when you have a pine forest and you go there, it's just like almost like this complete-ish type silence because the acoustics cause it to be that way with the pine needles on the ground. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever encountered with regard to sound or lack thereof out in the wilderness. If you haven't done it and you have the ability to do it, you should do it.
Well, we should do that sometime.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to know my first thoughts about trees?
Sure.
Okay, so you know how at some point when you're a kid, you learn that you can tell the age of a tree by like how many circles it has.
The rings in the tree. Yeah.
The rings.
Right.
Yeah. And okay, but the first time I ever heard that, okay, so keep in mind that my brain doesn't quite work like everybody else's. And so I was like, but how can you count the rings? Like they're inside the tree. Like I don't understand. And then when I realized, like they explained, well, they chopped the tree down. I was like, but you're killing the tree to find out how old it is. Like I was so I was offended on the tree's behalf. I was like, I don't need to know how old the tree it is. You don't have to chop it down.
I think it started as more of a functional thing, like to build a house, you know?
Okay, but like all I could think is that we're like, I wonder how old this tree is. I don't know. Let's chop it down.
Right. No, I can see how it could be as a child.
Yeah,
could
I'm
be
a little kid, and like I'm just like, why are we chopping down fucking trees to count the rings?
Right. Yeah.
Like that just seems mean.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not even like, I don't speak for the trees, but I speak for the trees adjacent.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I am not a nature girl, but I appreciate nature.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that hurt my heart.
Sure.
I don't need to know how old the fucking tree is.
Yeah.
Guess what? I can see how many rings it has by like kind of how wide it is. Wide around the diameter
but not
of it.
necessarily because like, I mean, there's things, right? Like the wideness of the rings determines how much water was that year. So like there's different things that contribute to how wide that tree is.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just don't need to know is all. It's none of my business, honestly. it's the tree's guts. I I feel like it's rude. I feel like it is invasive and rude.
Sure.
To be looking at a tree's insides and counting its rings.
But like, what if a tree is near the end of its life and you're just like, it's kind of like euthanasia, right? When if somebody is suffering, it's more humane to help them end that suffering, right? So the tree's falling apart and it's got basically no life left in it. It's just going to end up harming somebody else. At that point, are you okay with chopping it down?
I'm always sad when I see a tree stump.
Oh, I am too.
I'm really sad.
I think that there should be way more trees in the world, But but unfortunately in this chapter they're referring to trees as the people they're killing, I think.
Probably.
So it's just there because they're referencing the Lebanon trees as they're falling and opening doors and fire. So it sounds like God's trying to get them murdered type stuff.
Right?
And
wail, you juniper, for the cedar has fallen, the stately trees are ruined. Wail, oaks of Bashan. Og of Bashan.
Yeah.
The dense forest has been cut down. Oh, that doesn't make me sad.
Yeah.
Is it wrong or weird that I'm actually feeling emotions for these trees?
I don't think these are. Yes, they are saying trees, but it's not the actual trees.
It's just
because the trees represent that portion of those nations, right?
It's just that we've heard a lot about these trees throughout the Bible.
True.
And now it's and God's cutting them down.
I'm always sad about trees being, especially the Amazon trees getting cut down.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. That hurts my heart because I know that Amazon is supposed to be like the Earth's lungs or whatever.
Yeah. And that, I think that's been, I don't know, regardless.
Romanticized a bit, maybe?
Maybe. But regardless, there are, trees to me are so majestic, right? And I feel like it's very, very sad when we do away with large swaths of forestry. Yeah. It's not this is we're getting rid of what the planet was to replace it with what we want. And I'm like, why should we get what we want? You're deciding this for all the other animals on the planet that we're going to make this in our image.
What is
we're basically doing the same thing God
song where you took down the thing and paved the the parking lot. Yeah, the parking lot.
Paved the parking lot. Yeah.
Paved the parking lot. Yeah. That's sad. The first time I heard that I was like, oh, that's a sad song.
Right, yeah.
That got me right in the feels.
Right.
I'm not even super nature girl, but protect the planet, guys. It's the only one we got.
It is.
Listen to the wail of the shepherds. No, listen to my wail. Listen to wife wailing. Their rich pastures are destroyed. Whee! Exclamation point.
I guess.
Listen to the roar of the lions. Roar. The lush thicket of the Jordan is ruined.
Okay.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, he's fucking all kinds of shit up.
Yeah.
No wonder people don't, believe in ecology and taking care of the planet because God was just destroying shit left and right.
Put your right forest in, you take your right forest out. All right, this is what the Lord my God says. Shepherd the flock marked for slaughter. Their buyers slaughter them and go unpunished. Those who sell them say, praise the Lord, I am rich. Their own shepherds do not spare them.
Wow, are we talking about slavery here?
I don't know. I don't understand what's happening.
That's an interesting statement. He's definitely been pro-slavery-ish in the past. That might be a statement against it. I don't know. I'd be curious what that is referring to.
Right?
Yeah.
For I will no longer have pity on the people of the land, declares the Lord. Okay. I will give everyone into the hands of their neighbors and their king. They will devastate the land, and I will not rescue anyone from their hands, because I am a petty little bitch.
Right? Yeah.
I am a mercurial, vindictive dick.
Who is also apparently not capable of handling this, vindictiveness himself.
Right.
Yeah.
So I shepherded the flock marked for slaughter, particularly the oppressed of the flock. Then I took 2 staffs and called one favor and the other union. And I shepherded the flock.
Okay.
In 1 month, I got rid of the 3 shepherds. The flock detested me, and I grew weary of them and said, I will not be your shepherd. Let the dying die and the perishing perish. Let those who are left eat one another's flesh.
hold on. He said, let me go shepherd this flock who is being oppressed. Mm-hmm. And then after 3 months, he got bored and said, go fuck yourselves. Is that what he's saying?
I am honestly not sure.
I'm not either, but like that's kind of what it sounded like.
So confused.
I mean, I'm definitely going to want to dig into this a little bit more.
Yeah, I will need a breakdown because he's got sticks and he named them.
Yeah. Union in favor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't have almonds on them yet, I don't think.
No.
So,
no.
Yeah.
Then I took my staff called favor and broke it, revoking the covenant I had made with all the nations. It was revoked on that day. And so the oppressed of the flock who were watching me knew it was the word of the Lord.
Wait, which one is he talking about? Like the original fucking covenant that he made? That shall never be broken? That is never
right?
Going to be broken?
I wonder.
I wonder too. Because
I'm
like,
very
which
confused.
Covenant? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Whatever,
here?
Man. Whatever.
I told them, if you think it best, give me my pay. But if not, keep it. So they paid me 30 pieces of silver.
Who the fuck are we talking about?
Zechariah. He's putting on this show with his sticks. He's doing a show.
Okay.
And he's like, look, these are my little sock puppets. And this one's called Union and this one's called Faith or whatever. And see, I'm shepherding the people, but then I'm not. And so he's like using them as little fucking sock puppets, I think. And then,
I'm a little confused.
And he's like, there, I told you, I gave you a show, now pay me. And they're like, whatever, here's 30 pieces of silver.
So this is like a prophet play or something?
Yeah, yeah. And the Lord said to me, throw it to the potter. You know, the Harry Potter.
Okay. All right.
That's funny.
Throw it to the pot. Okay.
Throw it to the potter.
All right.
The handsome price at which they valued me. So I took the 30 pieces of silver and threw them to the potter at the house of the Lord. Then I broke my second staff called Union, breaking the family bond between Judah and Israel.
Okay.
So
we're breaking covenants and staffs all over the place here.
Yeah, and these sticks are like representative. They're symbolic.
I get that. Yeah.
Okay. Then the Lord said to me, take again the equipment of a foolish shepherd, for I am going to raise up a shepherd over the land who will not care for the lost, or seek the young, or heal the injured, or feed the healthy, but will eat the meat of the choice sheep.
Okay.
Tearing off their hooves. You know, as you do.
Okay.
Right? Woe to the worthless shepherd who deserts the flock. May the sword strike his arm and his right eye.
Okay.
Just so you know.
This is a very confusing chapter.
I'm not following this at all.
Yeah, I'm not either.
May the sword strike his arm and his right eye. May his arm be completely withered. His right eye totally blinded. The end.
Okay. I don't really know what to even say at the end of this.
No, but
the trees died and
I was just imagining like that Mo, Larry and Curly. And
Larry, Curly, and Mo.
Them guys.
Yeah.
And like the Three Stooges. That's the ones.
Yeah.
And like one of them is like poking the other in the eye and the other one's like blocking it and going like that's what I was imagining when he said poke him in the eye.
Yeah. That was a weird chapter.
Yeah. I saw in the notes that it was a play, but it's been a few days. And so I don't know what the play means. So yeah, we will definitely cover this in a Q&A because I'm like, your trees are on fire? What?
They go really kind of haywire with these like metaphor, like the symbolism in them. They go just like way too far. Sometimes, in my opinion. I'm
like, just say your say. You know?
Right, yeah. We don't have to make this complicated.
I don't need pictures. I don't need a whiteboard. Just tell me.
Right,
like, make coffee in the morning, but not before bed. Don't drink coffee after, say, 4:00 in the evening or you'll be up all night.
Right.
I don't need you to then go put on a passion play about it.
Sure. I feel like there'd be a lot more understanding of the Bible if it was just written in like
words.
Yeah, that people understood.
Yeah.
and that were very straightforward and made sense. Yeah. Like I'm going to kill the people in Lebanon.
Yeah.
That would be a lot simpler than talking about the fucking trees.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm just saying, like that. Yes, I can get there. I can make that walk. I can understand what you're saying, I guess, sort of, but
maybe
like,
because they've been talking about the specialness of the trees, like they knew that would like hit us in our hearts.
Sure, but maybe it's not that special that he's killing people. That's my theory.
Right. No, I'm just look, I'm really trying over here because
sure.
I don't get it at
right,
all.
I don't either. So anyway, I don't think we really have much else to say about this chapter other than it's weird and we need to go back into more depth on it. So
it's weird and I need more help.
And I do need to say one thing. I completely forgot to do the weekly replay last week. So like chapters 4 through 8. I will be getting that out on Sunday. And I apologize for any of the weekly listeners.
As well you should.
I am.
I think it's 5 through 8, my love.
Oh, 5 through 8. You're right. Yeah. So 5 through 8 I'll have out on Sunday. And I'll get back on track with that every 4 episodes, thing where we're going to be doing. Yeah. So I apologize for missing that. I've just been really busy and distracted and there's a lot of things going on in our lives. So I apologize and I'll get that out. Yeah. That being said, that's all we got for today. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next time.
And don't burn trees.
Yeah, generally speaking. Right, yeah. I mean, can't fight. We were always taught when I was in Scouts to get the dead limbs for campfires. That's what we collect. We didn't chop anything down in greenwood is not burnable anyway. You got to let it cure.
I understand that there's like such a thing as like controlled burns and stuff like that.
Sure.
But you are not the one to do that.
Right.
I know you, okay? No, you person standing there listening to this, you don't do a controlled burn.
Right. Much like one of the ascribed ways to destroy an American flag is to burn it. But there's a specific way, and you generally are not the person that knows how to do that.
Yeah.
So it's not, you shouldn't just go burn people's flags that need to be burned.
Don't burn things.
Generally don't burn things.
Fuck you're doing, don't even burn a pot roast, okay? Just stop. Just stop. Stop with all the fire, okay?
Right, yeah. Good plan.
Okay.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you know what we're doing today?
Well, I think we are doing a Q&A.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were going to move on to chapter, 12? But then I was like, hold up.
There's a lot.
And you were asking me questions in chapter 11 that I was like, hang on. And I kind of knew stuff, but only because I'd seen notes. And I was like, we need to do a 9, 10, 11 Q&A, and then we'll do a 12, 13, 14 Q&A, and then we'll wrap up the book that way.
Right. I do want to say we're probably going to be on a short break again, and we want to apologize for that. We've got a sick cat, we've got family things happening that we're having to fill in house sitting stuff for, and there's a lot of things going on right now in our lives, so we apologize. But we will be back, and just wanted to give everybody a heads up that it'll be maybe a few days, possibly even a week before we get back to this. So
I had a death in the family, like not like super close. It was like an extended relative, but because of that, my parents had to drive across the country to go be with their family, and now I'm taking care of their pet while husband is trying to nurse our sick pet, and then I was a little bit sick on top of that, and just it's all the things always all at once. When it rains it pours, and sorry about that, guys. So anyway, we're getting into the Q&A for Zechariah chapters 9, 10, 11. Okay, all right. Are you ready to do this? I am. Let's do it. Okie dokie. All right. I don't know if you recall, but chapters 1 through 8 of Zechariah were like Zechariah. Yeah. Telling the story. More likely Zechariah. Yeah. Zechariah or Zechariah adjacent. Right. Yeah. But 9 and up, 9 through 14 were very likely either somebody else 100 years later, or even a couple hundred years later, maybe somebody in his school or Jeremiah's school or something like that.
Or somebody. Yeah.
Or
somebody's.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. Some Christian scholars believe that the two oracles that make up the remainder of chapters 9 through 14 came from Zechariah in his old age, but most actual non-Christian scholars are like, I don't think so, bruh.
Right. That sounds apologist driven there.
Yeah. Like, so even they acknowledge it's not the same. And they're like, but here's why. And we're like, probably not. But thank you for at least admitting it's not the same.
Sure.
Like, I appreciate that you are willing to go out on that limb.
Right, I guess. But it's the same pattern throughout the whole Old Testament, where you have like these broken up books that are written by multiple different groups or people or whatever, and it's so fucking obvious as you go through all this stuff. Like, there's no question that this was written by a different person in a different time because of the words they use. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very apparent. And I love, I mean, I want to do a shout out for somebody else here, but Dan McClellan, like he, if you look him up, he does a lot of deep dives, and he's a very, very good biblical scholar that it's just fun to listen to him tear these things apart, you know, and it's true. Like, you can very much tell that they are not written by the same person. So.
Right. Which is it shouldn't be like, oh, that's too bad. It's interesting. It's history. Right, it's cool.
No, if I was actually religious, I think I'd want to dive into that more and find, like, you know, I don't understand the lack of curiosity, right?
And we've talked about that so many times.
You and I don't have any, you know, biblical scholarship at all, other than what we've done through this podcast. And it's obvious to us. Just reading through that this stuff is not written by the same person.
We don't have any skin in the game. We don't have any emotions to lose over it. So we're just straight up curious.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I'm interested in something, I'm curious and I want to know everything about it. So it just strikes me as really odd that people are like interested in God, but they're not, though. They're not interested in God.
I have to believe that if I thought that I could talk to my relatives and family after I died, that I'd want to find out, you know, how real that is before I died.
Yeah.
I'd be very fucking interested.
But,
you know,
they just take it at face value, which shows me they just don't have any interest in it. There is a very strong lack of interest.
No, they don't want to know. They want to believe. They don't want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah.
And
I want to know.
I'm going to continue to want to know.
Yep. And that's why we'll always be young at heart.
And that's why we'll always probably be atheist unless there's just like some direct fucking intervention by a God. So, you know.
Yep, that is true. So when we hop into chapter 9, at this point, Syria, Phoenicia, and Palestine had been conquered first by Nebuchadnezzar and then afterward by Alexander the Great, that one. Right. Not a different Alexander, the great one.
Yeah.
Okay. Some apply the beginning of this chapter, verses 1 through 7, to the one event, and then some to the other event.
Okay.
I think that it's pretty much the Babylonian thing is what we're talking about, but you get Christians that will argue otherwise.
Sure.
Because they want it to mean more. So it has to be one or the other. And I forget which one is more meaningful to them, but like whatever. Whichever one means that it was future telling and God had a hand in it, that's the one that they want it to be real bad.
I'm hearing cherry picking, blah, 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 cherry picking.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the cities mentioned in Zechariah chapter 9, verses 1 through 7, they do trace Alexander the Great's march through the Promised Land in 332 through 331 BCE. Okay.
Yeah.
And Alexander's campaign through this region occurred after the Battle of Issus in 333 and before the siege of Gaza in 332 BCE. Okay. So just to give you kind of a time period of when these things probably happened.
Got it. Okay. And this is in reference to why, like, the people that are probably writing this are writing this and stuff. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah. Because it matters as far as like this is talking about judgment of cities. Okay. And so we see then these cities do get taken down. So it matters as far as whether it was foretold or not.
And it matches that it matches that time that thing that happened with Alexander the Great.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's what I was curious. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not foretold. It was just written later, and they put it back so that it would be foretold.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
More than likely.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the prophet Zechariah outlines how Israel will move from its present position in its own land, but still under Persian rule, to full independence, and from there into the era of the Messiah's rule. Okay. So he's like, here's where we were, here's where we are, here's where we're going. And that is basically like what chapter 9 is about. That we were like, what the fuck is happening here?
Sure.
He sees an invading army moving down from the north. First, it conquers the Syrian cities of Hadrach, Damascus, and Hamath. Okay.
Okay.
And again, that is Alexander the Great's path that he took.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So Hadrach, it's referred to as both depending on the translation.
Sure.
That's the valley of Damascus, or a place near to Damascus. And Alexander the Great gained possession of Damascus and took all its treasures, but it was without blood, and the city was betrayed to him.
Sure.
Okay.
No, my understanding of Alexander the Great is that he was very much a diplomatic conqueror. I mean, not that he didn't kill people, but he did a lot of diplomacy as well.
Yeah, so. he did. And he also tried really hard to use the people's own culture against them in order to conquer them.
Sure.
And then let them keep what they had.
Right.
So he used brainy forces instead of, he used brain instead of brawn.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
he was the brain and the Pinky and the brain.
Yes, exactly.
What are we doing today, Pinky?
Yeah, exactly.
We're conquering the world, Alexander.
Of course. So then the army conquers Phoenician cities of Tyre and Sidon. Okay. And these were the two major cities north of Israel and the land of Lebanon. Tyre was an important commercial city that was thought to be impossible to conquer. I don't know if you remember all that.
Yeah.
Nebuchadnezzar tried for 13 years to conquer Tyre, but Alexander did it in 7 months by using the rubble from the old city to make a causeway out to the island city. You remember when we talked about him?
Yeah, actually, we talked about that at one point.
Yeah,
so.
That was in one of our Q&As when we were talking about, or no, it wasn't a Q&A. It was one of the book specials when we were talking about Jewish stories, and we covered Alexander the Great.
Right.
And that was one of the things he did was this city was safe because it was surrounded by water, but it was on the ruins of an old city. Yeah. And so he used the old city and just like built a causeway on top of it and marched on his elephants right into that city.
Yeah.
So
and I want to cover this again too, because we've talked about this in the past too, but Tyre that you're referring to is actually pronounced Tyre.
Oh, I always get that wrong.
Yeah.
Tyre, yeah.
I thought that was the case, but I wanted to double check before I corrected you on it. So.
I always guess it wrong. It is Tyre. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he did that. He's awesome. I mean, there's a reason that we call him great, and it's because he was.
Right.
Not great in like the so cool man, but like great in the great and awesome Oz. You know, he was able to do great things.
No one had ever seen a conqueror quite like this guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
he was just ultra smart. And, you know, the more that he did, the more that he did. You know?
Yeah.
Like, the more that he did, the more it enabled him to do more. Kind of like it takes money to make money. Well, he had might. And then the more might that he had, the more might that he was able to gain.
Yeah.
So, yeah. From there, the armies moved south down the coastal plain to conquer the Philistine cities of Ashkelon, Gaza, Ekron, and Ashdod. Okay? The Philistine practice of eating unclean food was... that's one of the things that we read that they were going to stop doing.
Right.
Yeah. And we were like, oh, what's that about? And the Philistines are going to become part of Israel as the Jebusites had in the time of David. Jesus Christ. David.
Yes, David.
Which was noted in 2 Samuel chapter 5.
Okay.
All
right.
And Jerusalem is going to be preserved.
is it?
Yeah. And then it was.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
When Alexander the Great marched through Lebanon and the Promised Land towards Egypt, he did not conquer or attack Jerusalem. So
interesting.
That quote unquote came true.
But that was probably more political machinations that were going on in the back.
Yes. There's stories about that. Although Jerusalem will come into the enemy's sphere of control, it will not be destroyed. There's stories about that we talked about when we talked about Alexander the Great, one of which is that on the one end, on the end of the Jews, that they were told by God to dress up in all white and to run out and meet him. And because they ran out and met Alexander and they were dressed in all white, for whatever reason, he believed them to be awesome and went and dined with them instead.
Oh.
Okay, so that's on the Jewish end. On his end, he was told by God in a dream that people dressed in white would come out to greet him. And when they did, he was to meet them as equals and to not conquer them. So when that happened, when, he saw these people, he realized that God had come to visit him and that these people were his equals. And so he greeted them as equals and went and dined with them.
I feel like they had a double agent in his employee, and they were like pushing him to if this happens, and then they're reporting back to the Israelites like, hey, he's buying it.
Yeah.
Guys, get your white robes, get out here.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. So because the story goes why wouldn't they be afraid? Everybody around them is, getting conquered, and here's these fools out here dressed in their fancy white clothes, just eager to meet him. And so that was supposed to be what?
There's got to be. I mean, there's got to be more to that story.
Oh, I'm sure.
That
and
either history's not aware of, or that we're not aware of.
That story may not even be true. That's
right,
a legend.
Yeah, sure.
Of why this, regardless of what it was, the city was spared. Mm-hmm. That is a legend as to why.
I often wish that we had someone in our household, or just willing to do this for free with us. That's like a preeminent historical buff for this time period, because there's so much that I just have questions about,
right?
With regard to why this happened, what was this actually, what was going on here,
what else was happening in the world,
correlate,
yeah.
And as much as I've enjoyed going through this Bible with a fresh take, fresh eyes, not knowing anything about it. Now that we're getting deeper into it, I'm starting to want to know more of the context and more of the what's going on in the world, what's going on with these different groups, and what's causing these things to happen in reality. Because
why did really Jerusalem get overlooked?
Right.
Why did really they not get conquered?
Yeah, no, I mean this isn't you know me, and my second job that I would have been a history teacher.
Absolutely.
And I love history. So my first inclination is not to think that gods did this. It's that there's something that I'm not understanding about the full context of the historical references.
Right.
And maybe there were, dreams and things like that, because these are early humans that were prone to believe odd things because they didn't have as much science. They didn't have as much knowledge, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of power grabbing going on, and it's hard for me to believe he would just pass something up because some dudes in white robes walked out to greet him.
Right.
Yeah. So it's Alexander the Great. We're not talking about Alexander the
stupid.
Right. Yeah.
Alexander the mediocre, Alexander the normal.
So that's why I'm curious about the historical references there. But
yeah.
Anyway, sorry, that it just piqued my interest a little bit.
Sure. So I'm going to read verse 6. We're still in chapter 9. I'm going to read verse 6, which says, "A mongrel people will occupy Ashdod, and I will put an end to the pride of the Philistines." Other translations say a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, as opposed to a mongrel people.
Okay.
And me and you were like, oh, mongrel people, huh? What's that about?
Right.
I guess derogatory. Foreigners, right?
Yeah, right.
Gross. The Hebrew word that's used here traditionally refers to a person of mixed or illegitimate birth, which that tracks. That's what the word means.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't have full standing in the covenant community. Though it's traditionally linked to illegitimacy, the term was also a legal category in post-exilic Judaism for people with uncertain or non-Israelite lineage. So it may not only insult the ruler's bloodline, but also cast them as covenant outsiders.
Interesting.
Unclean or excluded from worship.
It's funny because there's certain sections of the Bible that we've been reading recently that they're saying we're going to bring people into the fold, right? But they still refer to people in very nationalistic and very racist tones, you know, like in the Bible with regard to how they treat them.
Yeah. It's like they will allow specific individuals, but still refer to the nationality as other.
Right.
Like, we will allow this person's wife and that person's husband and this our neighbor, our friend. And yes, we love welcoming in the one-on-ones. But that nationality as a whole over there, they are still other. They are still mongrels. They are still not us.
But I just can't get past the idea that depending on how you're looking at this, right, you would think that all people are God's people, right? And that's the general consensus, I think, is people like to push it today, sort of.
Right.
You know?
depending on the Christian, yeah.
Right, yeah. But
it does harken back to, though, that this God was very tribal, and it was only their plot of land.
Yeah, he was a local god.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yes.
You know, when you get right down to the tribalistic aspect of this. So
yeah, it was only one of many.
Right.
And this was only for these people of this particular piece of land.
Yeah.
So the word mongrel also invokes socio-political instability. The ruler of Ashdod is not just illegitimate, but unwanted, alien, and symbolic of divine humiliation. So, like, as God would say, gross. You know, we aren't just calling them gross. God is calling them gross.
But again, to say that God created something, God created that person, right? According to these people.
They're like, but not our God. That's their God over there in their little land.
Well, but then you have to admit that there's other gods.
And back then they did.
Sure. But like, but we're reading this today from a lens where we don't, where, you know, the Jewish people and Christians don't accept that there's other gods, right?
Sure.
So if you're reading it the same way, that with that idea in mind, you have to accept the fact that this guy was created by God, and yet God finds him disgusting. Sure. Right? So like that's
because he's not his chosen one.
It's still weird. It's still
weird.
Really weird.
It is weird. And that's why it makes better sense to acknowledge that, but these people didn't believe in one God. They believed in their God of their land, and that everybody had their own God. And it was a fight of whose God is most powerful.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but I'm never, ever going to read this as the Jews and the Christians today would have me read it, which is one God. I'm not, because that's not the way it was written, and that's not the way these people that wrote it believed.
Right.
So, no. They don't like that person over there because he is a different person. He's in a different tribe. He has a different God. Yeah. And his God is as real to them as ours is to us, because these gods all exist and they're all battling at all times for superiority over each other. Sure. So he's gross and their God is gross. Yep. You know, and that's what they think. Yeah. So, at any rate, in this context, it likely refers to a foreign ruler or illegitimate leader. Okay. Someone not descended from the original Philistine line and thus not belonging to their heritage or culture. And the idea is that Ashdod will no longer be ruled by its proud native people, but by outsiders or those who have no right to rule, symbolizing humiliation and decline. So, I mean, we got all of that, but it's nice to have it like spelled out. Right. And so I have a note that this refers to the mythic conception of Alexander, which is a common tale in classical antiquity that we did not cover, that I found very interesting. Okay. Olympias, Alexander's mother. Yeah. Apparently, some stories say that she claimed that Zeus Amon or Jupiter Amon, remember during that time period we had the hyphen gods? Sure. So, and it depends on whether we're talking about a deity that's blending Greek Zeus or Roman Jupiter with the Egyptian Amun. Okay. Okay. Right. Anyway, that this Zeus creature or Jupiter creature mixed with the Egyptian god, visited her in the form of a serpent or a dragon and impregnated her with Alexander.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And this story was used to deify Alexander, suggesting he was semi-divine, not merely human. And from a biblical or moralistic point of view, this could be interpreted as scandalous, mythological, or illegitimate,
Sure.
thus painting Alexander as, quote unquote, a bastard. Not just in terms of birth status, but also in spiritual or political terms. Someone who does not belong ruling the land.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that story going around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously.
While it lends him credit in certain circles with those gods,
Yes.
does not lend him credit with the Israelites.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that can be used both ways. You know, the sword cuts both ways as to whether or not it was a good thing or a bad thing that story was going around about him.
Sure.
Because it could talk about how powerful and awesome he was, or about how, oh, that filthy mongrel is going to be ruling these people now.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, then we're going to talk about Zion's future king, the coming king and his deliverance.
The coming king.
The coming
yeah. Okay.
king.
All right.
Yeah. That king be coming all over them. Yeah, he does. From this, the prophet passes on to that most eminent instance of God's goodness to his church and people, the sending of the Messiah, whoever that may be.
Whoever. Yeah.
Whoever.
Could be anybody.
Could be anybody.
Yeah.
With an account of the peaceable tendency and great extent of his kingdom. God then declares that he has ratified his covenant with his people, delivered them from their captivity, and restored them to favor. And in consequence of this, victory over their enemies is promised to them in large and lofty terms with every other kind of prosperity. Okay?
I think if I was a Jewish person, I think I would start having God write down actual written contracts, like that giant 20-foot scroll, and like signing the damn thing, because he makes all these promises that he doesn't seem to really keep over time, and it's just like, I decided I'm going to go ahead and break this one, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you can't just keep, like, you probably have more broken promises than Trump, dude.
I know, it's so true.
I mean, granted, you have more time, but you know, still,
you are a puny god. Just to use the Hulk's words again.
Yes, right.
So, okay, a lowly king is going to come into Jerusalem, the strength and the authority of the Messiah's reign. Okay. History records that an invasion such as the above took place when Alexander's army swept through the region, conquering many of Israel's former enemies, including its current master, Persia. Okay. Although Alexander took control of Jerusalem, he did not destroy it. Okay, so Greek rule may spread over Palestine, but eventually it will be overthrown. God's king will then reign in Jerusalem, though not as a warlike conqueror. He will enter the city in quiet yet royal dignity and establish a worldwide reign of peace.
So I like how they kind of gloss over the fact that they did have Alexander the Great take over their area, and they're not being ruled by a mongrel king, but these other areas are.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, well, it's different for us.
It doesn't count
for us.
Because
we had white robes.
Because he didn't knock our buildings down.
Right.
We let him in and had dinner with him.
Right. Yeah. So therefore, we'll fix this. It's just, we got to fix it, you know? He's a nice guy. We don't want him ruling us. But it's only temporary.
But now we're in prophecy land. Okay?
Yeah.
So verse 9 is prophecy. Okay? Rejoice greatly, daughter Zion. Shout, daughter Jerusalem. See, your king comes to you, righteous and victorious, lowly and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. Okay?
Yeah.
And so
you question whether that was a Jesus reference, or whether it's taken as a Jesus reference.
And it is.
It very much is.
It very much is. But we're not talking about that because we're not there yet. Okay.
No, I gotcha.
But
I wanted to point it out because there was some question about it at the time when we went over it. So
no, you're right. You're right, and that's why I'm reading this.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the this Messiah king is lowly, but that is not indicated by the animal he rode on. He doesn't ride the triumphant stallion of a conquering general, but the customary mount for royalty coming in peace. This was quite a contrast to the conqueror Alexander the Great. The image of a king riding a donkey is not about humility per se, but about non-militarism. In ancient Near Eastern tradition, donkeys were mounts of peace or civil travel, and horses were for war.
Okay.
So this verse may reflect a longing for leadership that doesn't rely on violence and is a rebuke of imperial styles of domination.
But is it possible? And I'm just curious because, we're talking about quote unquote prophecies here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we already talked about how the Israelites went out with the white robes to greet Alexander the Great and all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it possible that this guy showed up on a donkey to indicate that he's not going to act warlike, right?
Yeah,
and then that
exactly.
story got turned into a prophecy that they wrote into previous books to make it seem like this was prophesized.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, they all knew this, but now it's kind of been lost to history.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's what happened exactly.
But
I'm
it's
saying,
just as
That's
plausible.
just as plausible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
to me, like the whole prophecy side of this thing, to me, has been proven wrong over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because generally speaking, you can trace the writing of the stuff that's happening when they're prophesizing to a time when that stuff has already happened.
Exactly.
And then they insert it back into a book where it was before it happened.
Sure.
And it's just kind of bullshit all the way through.
It's not kind of bullshit.
It
It's
is
total
bullshit.
bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
And people didn't know enough to read, unless you were a scholar and studied this stuff in depth, you didn't know enough to know that this stuff is how this was all happening.
Right.
Right. So it was easy to manipulate people and say, look, this was already prophesized. Right.
Yeah.
And so these things were just easy to fit into a narrative that they wanted to keep going forward. And as long as it was relevant to the people at the time, here's a story that makes sense to them. Our God caused this. Our God's doing this. It's a way to ease what's happening with their people at the time in a prophecy that says this was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just wait. God's got us.
Yep.
We're going to make it through this, right? And I feel like this is all. It's still political. It's still political because
definitely.
they're teaching their people that this stuff was already in the books.
Yeah, this was always going to happen this way.
Yeah.
So to repeat part of that verse, on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. This seems to be a Hebrew expression of speech emphasizing that the animal is purebred, a truly magnificent and royal mount.
Or ass.
Or ass. Yeah.
Sure.
So then moving to the next verse, verse 10, I will take away the chariots from Ephraim and the war horses from Jerusalem, and the battle bow will be broken. He will proclaim peace to the nations. His rule will extend from sea to sea and from the river to the ends of the earth. Okay? The prophet doesn't just describe peace, he describes disarmament. In a region constantly plagued by military threats, this is a really visionary reversal of normalcy.
Yeah.
No more war machines and peace extending from sea to sea. This would definitely feel utopian to an audience used to constant imperial conquest. Assyria, Babylon, Persia.
Right.
They would be welcoming this. They would be very excited.
Well, and my understanding of Alexander the Great is that he felt very much like that.
Yeah.
Like that was it, not to everybody, I'm sure.
Right.
But to many people, he was a welcoming, peace bringing conqueror that was just kind of bringing the whole area together and bringing stability to that area.
Sure.
Yep.
So now that he has pointed to the climax of Israel's glory through the reign of the Messiah, the prophet returns to the time of Alexander, even though, you and I know, he was always talking about Alexander.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
He shows that God will set his people free according to the covenant he made with them at Sinai. So verse 12 reads, "Return to your fortress, you prisoners of hope. Even now I announce that I will restore twice as much to you." So the phrase prisoners of hope is unique in scripture and rich in theology. It suggests a paradox. People still bound by circumstances, perhaps exile or oppression, yet bound more tightly to a future promise. It could be a spiritual call to return to hope despite disappointment.
Got it.
So, prisoner of hope.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right.
through war comes peace. Israel is going to become a weapon in God's hand to slaughter its enemies. Slaughter, love that. And thereby carry out God's judgment upon the nations. On gaining its freedom, the nation will settle down to a life of security, joy, and prosperity. Okay, so that was chapter 9, which I feel a lot better about now, understanding what the fuck.
No, definitely.
Okay, so now we're in chapter 10. The promise of prosperity and plenty in the close of the preceding chapter leads the prophet to suggest next the means of obtaining them. The supplication to Jehovah and not to idols, whose worship had already proved a fertile source of calamities. Okay. So now we're going to talk about why y'all got here.
Right.
And, you know, again, how much you suck and need to change. Okay.
Yeah.
So the blessed nature of the Messiah's reign. At the time this prophecy was given, the temple had long been finished, and life in Jerusalem was not as it had been previously. Zerubbabel and Joshua had apparently died, and without strong leadership, the Jews drifted into the ungodly ways of neighboring nations. Remember, we said, like, oh, there they go again.
Right, yeah.
You know,
it's a constant theme.
Like, not even like a chapter later, they're already at it again.
Right.
You know, they suck. Some were using idolatrous objects as magic charms in the belief that these would bring good rains and good crops. And Zechariah tells them to stop such practices and to trust in God alone. Diviners consulted the spirits of common household idols to predict the future. God warns his people that there is no real help from either idols or their representatives. The people had listened to false and deceptive leaders, and part of the reason was the lack of godly leadership.
I really feel bad for these people because they've been through so much shit, and they just keep, you know, being bounced from this place to that place, and they've been, you know, there's all these different gods and all these different things. They just want
to grow their fucking crops.
Like, guys, I just want it to fucking rain. Can you make that happen?
Yeah,
like I don't care.
All the time, that's all it always comes to. I just want to grow my fucking crops.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't care what you call it.
I have said for years that I don't give a fuck. You know, if there's a God, I don't care. But as long as he's not a dick. But this guy, he's kind of a dick.
He's a dick.
You know, like, you will only worship me. You will. I'm like, get over yourself, man.
Yeah. Come
on.
It doesn't need to always be about you.
Right.
For reals.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be better than that. And
definitely.
You're not.
Right.
Yeah. So this is about them just trying to, like, pray for rain, and Zechariah's like, you guys stop using your idols, you sons of bitches. Diviners consulted the spirits of common household idols to predict the future. Is it going to rain tomorrow? What about Friday?
Right.
What about next week?
Yeah,
maybe next month? When are we getting rain?
It's too bad they didn't have Doppler radar back then, you know?
True.
Yeah.
God warns his people that there is no real help from either idols or their representatives.
Yeah.
The people had listened to false and deceptive leaders, and part of the reason was the lack of godly leadership. So he's like really getting onto the leadership in this chapter, less than the people. Okay?
Sure, but it still affects the people.
No, yeah, but
you know?
He's less mad at the people than he is the leaders here.
Right.
Some people think that the idols and diviners were those of the Seleucid Greeks.
Okay.
I forget how to pronounce that word because it's really hard. But the Greeks. You know, because the Greeks are coming in around this time.
Yeah.
And they were excited that their masters, who excited their masters with promises of success against the Maccabees.
Okay.
So this is like right before the Maccabees is coming.
Yeah.
And so the Greeks are like, you know, hey, we have some great gods and this is cool. Why don't you pray to our gods?
Right.
They might bring you some rain or whatever.
Yeah.
So verse 1 of chapter 10 reads, ask the Lord for rain in the springtime. It is the Lord who sends the thunderstorms. He gives showers of rain to all people and plants of the field to everyone. Now that's our interpretation, our translation. There's other translations that say, ask the Lord for rain in the after season.
Okay.
And remember how there's like different seasons of rain, and there's like first rain and later rain or something like that.
Sure.
And it just means springtime. So that's why ours says spring.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
The other season would be fall, I believe.
Got
it. Okay. So this isn't just about meteorological blessing, though, okay? Rain is literally life in these agrarian societies. By commanding them to ask God directly for rain, Zechariah is reasserting God's direct involvement in the people's well-being, undermining any lingering belief that nature is governed by magic or other deities. And in
because
referencing...
God's not magic, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And in referencing the spring rain, or in other translations, the latter rain, which was crucial for the final stages of crop growth, he was symbolizing not just material sustenance, but spiritual revival as well. So he's like not just talking about the crops growing in the spring, but like people renewing their faith this spring.
So
like,
back then, people's faith was dependent on whether or not their crops were able to grow and whatnot. And today, people's faith are dependent on whether they can find their keys or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or whether their cat's water fountains work.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. That kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. So God is not only judging the people's idolatry, but also holding leadership accountable for their failure to shepherd the flock. So that's what I said. He's like, you leaders are in big trouble. You are very bad and naughty.
Right.
He's angry with Israel's leaders who have no concern for the people they rule. So God will replace them with strong, stable, dependable leaders who in God's strength will overthrow the ruling power.
Got it.
Or so the prophecy says. Okay?
Yeah.
So the rest of the chapter, like the preceding one, promises to the Jews a restoration to their own land under rulers and governors, victory over their enemies, and much increase and prosperity. Okay? And this is a manner so miraculous. He does this in a manner that is so miraculous that it is described by allusions to the deliverance from Egypt. So remember what, not allusions, like alluding to.
Okay.
So like, remember when we were like, oh my goodness, God like never lets it go. He's always talking about, remember that time when I took you out of Egypt?
Yes.
Remember
Always,
how I made you stop
forever.
being
Yeah,
slaves?
right.
Yeah, that's why. Because he's like, remember how powerful I am. It was less about remember what I did for you so much as that it's a remember how powerful I am. Remember how I'm great and awesome.
Yeah.
So that's what that was about.
I mean, he keeps referencing that, but like, again, it probably never happened.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. Jews who are still scattered throughout the lands supposedly are going to be returning to their homeland where they will live in confidence and joy under God's protection. Okay, so Israel's going to be strengthened. And this is a symbolic weight in naming both Judah and Ephraim. Judah represents the southern kingdom, which returned from exile, while Ephraim symbolizes the northern tribes largely dispersed and quote-unquote lost after Assyria. The promise here isn't just about geographic return, but also about national reunification, something that hadn't been the case since the divided kingdom post-Solomon.
Right.
That's pretty radical in a post-exilic context.
Sure.
I mean, it's still radical today.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
This seems to envision a future where both northern and southern kingdoms are fully restored, reversing centuries of division.
Okay.
Centuries. Like, you could say that today. Centuries of division.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
2 millennia of division. Because isn't like 1,000 years is a millennia, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Israel is going to gather into the land from across the earth, okay? Supposedly,
right.
You know? The movement of people to the promised land will be like the migration from Egypt to Canaan in the time of Moses. Okay.
Okay.
That's what he's saying. There's going to be a great migration.
So what I'm hearing is it's going to take 40 years?
Something not like that. Yeah. In response to God's grace, his people will worship and obey him. So I'm going to read verse 10, okay?
Yeah.
I will bring them back from Egypt and gather them from Assyria. I will bring them to Gilead and Lebanon, and there will not be room enough for them. Remember, we were laughing because we were like, then you measured badly.
Right.
Yeah. Egypt and Assyria here aren't necessarily literal. They may represent symbolic poles of exile. Egypt southwest and Assyria northeast could be standing in for all the lands of dispersion. But there's also historical resonance. Egypt was the site of Israel's original enslavement, while Assyria scattered the northern tribes.
Sure.
So,
yeah,
you know, both.
Right.
Really. Okay. So now we move into chapter 11. Okay.
Yep.
This chapter is a literary reversal from restoration to rejection. He's like, I'm going to bring you all together. And then he's like, just kidding. Fuck you all.
Right.
In chapter 10, God is calling his people back. In chapter 11, he's handing them over. This structural pivot is dramatic and intentional.
Okay. All right.
So in the first part of the chapter, the commencement relates to the destruction of Jerusalem and the Jewish polity, probably by the Babylonians, at least in the first instance, as the 4th verse speaks of the people thus threatened as the prophet's charge. The prophet then gives an account of the manner in which he discharged his office and the little value that was put on his labors. And this he does by symbolic actions, a common mode of instruction with the ancient prophets. Okay, and this was really confusing to us when we were reading it. We were like, what is fucking happening right now?
Right.
But Zechariah was putting on these plays for the people.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to break these down a little bit better. Okay.
Yep.
And I only knew this at the time because I had taken the notes.
Sure.
Right? But even at that, I was still really confused. So that's part of why I wanted to do this Q&A so that we could try to put this chapter in particular, but 9 and 10 into some context as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So as for bad leaders, their judgment is certain no matter how great and mighty they think themselves to be. They increase their power and wealth by oppressing the people without mercy, and therefore God will punish them without mercy. Will punish them without mercy.
Right.
He's like, you were bad, I'm going to be bad back. As he does, because he's a petty little bitch.
Right.
His judgment will be like a raging fire sweeping through the proud forest where not even the strongest and fiercest animals will escape. And okay, so this gets into the trees. You remember there were the trees, and you were like, they probably represent the people. You were onto something. You weren't totally right, but you weren't totally wrong either. Okay.
Right. Yep.
So let's read verse 1 again. Open your doors, Lebanon, so that fire may devour your cedars.
Right.
And I had pointed out, wait, wasn't like all the great wood from Lebanon? Oh, that's so sad. Like all the cedars came from there.
Right.
So we were like talking about the trees and stuff and how sad that was.
Yeah.
And then you were like, I don't think he's talking about actual trees, babe. I think he's talking about people.
Right.
And I'm like, but the trees though. Okay. So this describes the coming of destructive armies of judgment from the north through Lebanon.
Always from the north.
Always from the north.
Right.
That's where the Gog and Magog live, you know, the great monsters of the north.
Yes.
The doors of Lebanon are the mountain passes between Lebanon and Israel.
Okay.
Which I didn't realize, like on a map, that makes sense.
Right.
So the cedar trees illustrate Lebanon's strength. Once they fall, the lesser forests of cypress and oak will also be destroyed. And so that's why in the later verses, they will also wail.
Got it. Okay.
So when the lesser trees or see that the great trees are falling, the lesser trees that aren't as cool, the wood that's not as cool is going to be sad. But again, that's also the people.
But we're talking about nations.
Both.
Yeah, right.
Both. Yeah. But Lebanon also signifies the temple itself because it was built of materials principally brought from that place.
Right.
So finally, the cedar, cypress, and oak also represent tiers of social and political hierarchy.
Okay.
Not just the strength of Lebanon.
Interesting.
Yeah. Some scholars suggest that these trees metaphorically point to high-ranking figures, cedars, and progressively lower ones, the cypress and the oaks.
Okay. All right.
So not just the nations, but the nation's leaders.
It's technically more disparagement of the people in charge.
Yes.
Is that kind of what we're getting at?
Yes, but also shit rolls downhill. Also,
right.
You know,
yeah,
that kind of thing. So it's like multi-layered, like a fucking Mexican dip.
Sure.
You know?
Right.
Like 7-layer dip. Oh man, that stuff is good.
Yeah.
All right. So then Zechariah starts acting out a prophecy of judgment.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is where we were like, I don't even understand what is happening right now.
It was not
because
good.
it didn't specifically say that.
No, it was really bad.
It was very badly written, poorly presented to dum-dums like us. You know, I don't hold myself responsible for the confusion that we held.
No, nor do I.
You shouldn't.
Right.
Okay. So Zechariah demonstrates that judgment in 2 short plays. In these plays, he acts the part of a shepherd, representing the leaders of God's people. In the first play, God told Zechariah to act the part of a good shepherd. Wee, I'm a good shepherd. So Zechariah acts out this prophecy, feeding a literal flock of sheep that represents the people of God. As the shepherd, Zechariah represents the Lord, who had appointed this flock for a season of judgment.
Okay.
Zechariah was to look after a people oppressed and exploited by bad shepherds whose sole aim was to enrich themselves. They cared nothing for the flock. God showed Zechariah, however, that his efforts were doomed to failure. Leaders and common people alike were headed for fitting punishment.
Okay. Yeah.
So then we move on into the next few verses. The covenant is symbolically broken. Okay.
Right.
Nevertheless, Zechariah acted out his short drama. Okay.
Yeah.
With a shepherd's stick called grace in some translations. It's also called beauty, favor, or peace.
I think they referred to, they said it was favor in our translation.
I think so. Yeah. But generally, I think most translations refer to it as grace. That's how it's known to most people, I think.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So grace, beauty, favor, peace. Symbolizing the favored status of Israel as the chosen people of God, he tried to give the sheep the beneficial leadership that God desired for them. With another stick called union, or unity, bonds, bands, or harmony. So we've got peace and harmony. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Or grace and union.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Symbolizing the internal harmony of the people that was lost at the time of the siege of Jerusalem, he tried to bind them closer to one another in national peace and harmony.
Okay.
He even destroyed the 3 bad shepherds who are not actually 3 individuals, but represent 3 classes of individuals.
Sure.
Okay, so we've got prophets, priests, along with the scribes and the Pharisees, and then the kings and other parts of dictatorship, including the magistrates, the great Sanhedrin, and the smaller councils.
I want to put this in context here a little bit, because we're talking about a quote-unquote prophecy that is going to happen from Zechariah's time, that was written during Alexander the Great's time. Ish.
Yeah.
And so, but we're playing a play that Zechariah technically would have done back then to say that something. I mean, this whole thing is so fucked.
It's so fucked.
Like, I'm like, what is even happening here?
Exactly. And he's playing with sticks.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And sheep. And we're supposed to understand his little sock.
Yeah. It's fucking weird.
Play.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah. So the offices of prophet, priest, and king were taken away from Israel after the Roman conquest of Judea and have never been restored. So that's a partial fulfilling of that prophecy is what we're supposed to take from that.
Oh, okay.
Just FYI.
Got it.
But the rest is, still to come in the days to come.
But there was a time where you liked some of the kings. So then, again, makes very little sense. It just, it's like whatever they want in any given time frame,
Sure. Although taking this literally, some think that the 3 shepherds mean the 3 Maccabees, Judas, Jonathan, and Simon. So, but we're not there yet, so I don't fucking know.
Right.
Others think of the 3 wicked high priests, Jason, Alcimus, and Menelaus. Again, we're not there yet, so I don't fucking know.
Right.
Still others think of them as the last 3 princes of the Asmonean race, Alexander, Hyrcanus, and Antigonus. Again, I'm not there. I don't fucking know.
Right.
Okay. In return, we're done with that part. Okay. In return for Zechariah's little show, people were very angry with him. I mean, it was a bad show, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it was not. It was just probably the acting. It wasn't necessarily the material.
It was bad material, bad acting.
Shit, man. It's not good.
The whole thing was bad.
Right.
And it wasn't even a musical.
I give it like a 2 out of 5.
Really? That's higher than I would.
Well, back then, I'm saying like there wasn't like a lot of movies.
That is true.
I'm trying to go in context.
At least,
here,
At least they gave us something to talk about.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you a 2.5.
Sure.
2.5 stars out of 10.
Yeah.
They were so far removed from the ways of God that these dudes actually preferred the bad shepherds to the good shepherd. Sure they did.
Yeah.
We love bad leaders. Give us the bad leaders back. Like, that's poor phrasing.
Yeah.
Did they prefer to be led by bad leaders, or did they prefer what was happening under who you are calling bad leaders now.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like nobody just says,
fine.
I love bad leadership.
My guess is they were doing okay.
Right.
You know, like,
Yeah.
and they didn't really want to shake things up.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I don't blame them. You know, like
whatever.
with all the shit that's happened to them.
Yeah.
Like, can we just like, let's just leave it alone,
Just
guys.
leave it
Can
alone
we just
for a
like,
minute.
whatever.
Can you just chillax?
Things are going okay.
Like, once again, we've got some prophet just like screaming his fucking head off, ringing his bell over
Right.
here. And we're just trying to grow our goddamn crops.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Shut up, dude. Zechariah, therefore, broke his 2 sticks because they're like, fuck you, stop. You're gross. You're telling us a dumb story and we don't like it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mhm.
We prefer the bad leader to you. Sure.
Whatever.
So Zechariah therefore broke his 2 sticks to show the people that he would no longer be their shepherd. And in bringing judgment by letting the dying die, God merely took away his hand of protection. So
Okay.
he's not protecting them anymore.
So Zechariah was like literally protecting them from God?
No, he was representing God. And so he's like, as I, your shepherd, am tearing these sticks asunder,
Yeah.
God is doing the same to us. I am showing you what God is doing, I say.
Okay. Right, yeah.
I am telling you what I think God wants you to know,
Yeah.
which is that I am mad at you poop heads.
I would really just love to be like a fly on the wall for one of these like little, you know, prophecy speeches things that
Yeah.
were happening, because I don't understand how they gained so much traction through all of history.
Yeah, same. So, anyway, God breaking his covenant and his people being attacked. Because at one time, God had a covenant with all the people, preventing them from attacking his people, Israel. Okay?
Right.
When God decided to break the covenant, which he is saying they broke it first.
Yeah, of course.
So,
I mean, you gotta
They broke
show
it
it.
first.
Right.
Mom, they broke the covenant.
I say that God breaks his word all the time, but people will be like, well, it was the people that broke their word first. I'm like, okay.
So God's a petty bitch,
But
just like I said. Got it.
Again, I just want to point out that God has the ability to change people's hearts and do all kinds of fucking shit that he's proved, according to the Bible, over the course of the Bible, that he just leaves out.
And he's just on
like,
purpose.
whatever.
I'm going to get you back.
Right.
You little bitches. I'm going to get you back. Because God's a petty little bitch.
And apparently he has no ability to fix people, because he tells us that he fixes people. And then the next sentence is that they fucked up again.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you don't have any power.
Yeah.
Like, you have nothing.
Puny God.
Right.
So anyway, when God decided to break back the covenant, his people would be attacked. And then Christians are like, and that totally happened during the Roman siege of Jerusalem in 70 of the current era. You know,
okay.
when the temple was like forever destroyed and all the Jesus-y attacks and stuff, whatever.
Right.
Like, I don't know, whatever. We're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
But still.
But yeah.
They're like, it happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, bro.
You throw enough shit at the wall, and eventually you're going to, you know.
Yeah.
Especially when you take those prophecies and you look back on
try
time,
to retrofit
and then you
them.
make them fit.
Yeah.
You know, you're making them fit.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
So anyway, finishing up chapter 10, 11. No, 9,
11.
10, 11.
Right. Yeah.
Chapter 11.
Yes.
Okay. The shepherd is paid with contempt. Okay. So Zechariah was play acting this prophecy, employing himself as a shepherd over a flock. When he suggested that they might pay him his wages, the people gave him such a small amount that it was an insult. This was especially so since the wages really belonged to God, whom he served.
Oh.
But let's read verse 13 again, okay?
I bet Joel Osteen says the same thing.
Oh, he does. He does. And the Lord said to me, throw it to the potter, the handsome price at which they valued me. So I took the 30 pieces of silver and threw them to the potter at the house of the Lord. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that.
So he's like, this is an insult, and just threw it away.
Yeah, but we're gonna talk about it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Zechariah spoke sarcastically here. 30 pieces of silver was not an insignificant amount, but it was the price of a slave, as spelled out in Exodus chapter 21.
Oh.
So it was the lowest they could pay, and it said that they regarded Zechariah as a slave. They were basically telling him, not only are you of no value, but also we know you know that that's what we think, and we don't fucking care. Boom.
I see.
You're an asshole. We
so
hate you.
the amount itself was an insult.
Yes. Not just the fact that it was low, but it's like if you leave your waitress a quarter, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's not just that it's low, it's that that's the smallest, not denomination of a dollar, but the smallest, like, actual.
I've known people that served, and some of the older folks that would visit the establishment thought that was still a good tip.
Yeah.
Like they didn't really understand that they were fucking over the person working. Like, they were just like, this is a good tip. This is what I've left for 25 years.
Even though the price of eggs has like fucking quadrupled, like you complain about the price of gas quadrupling, it doesn't occur to you that you know that the food is more expensive. You don't tie that into a person's wages, though.
Right.
What?
Right.
A tip is a tip. 25 cents was great in my day.
And I got to be honest, if you had that shitty a service that they don't deserve a tip, then just don't leave a tip. The 25 cents is just much like this.
Yes.
Is more of a fucking insult than not leaving anything.
Yeah. Like, at least if you didn't leave a tip, they can, like, console themselves that you were broke or you forgot or you know something.
Any number of things, right?
Any number of things. Or they could just roll their eyes and like move along.
Yeah.
You leave a quarter and they have to like automatically.
You intentionally left that.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless you were like a kid or something and you left a quarter, and then that could be like exciting for a kid, right? And they might like, you know. Yeah.
I mean, if you go into Bob Evans and sit at the breakfast bar and you leave a quarter for just having a cup of coffee, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you go in and have a full fucking breakfast and serving you and like there's like multiple people and it's not just you, fuck you. Even if it is just you for a full meal.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Just leave nothing.
Honestly.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So Zechariah is speaking really sarcastically here when he says that, okay? Because he knows that they know that he knows.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the term potter's field, because he says throw it to the potter.
Yeah.
Right? So the term potter's field is rooted in the historical practice of using land where clay was extracted for pottery, marking it as a burial ground. Okay.
Right.
These fields were often barren and undesirable, making them a cost-effective option for burial. Then, too, a potter's field was a piece of useless land where the potter threw his broken, damaged, and rejected pots.
Well, if I recall correctly, I think Sheol had broken pottery in it as well. Like that was one of the things that they used for like imagery in that, which is almost a reference to like hell-ish type stuff.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. So not only are they getting the clay out of this land, but they're also putting the broken pieces back into this land.
Sure. So the imagery with that is significant, probably more to the earlier Jewish people than it is to us.
Exactly. Exactly. Potter's fields serve as, and we still have potter's fields to this day.
Oh, okay.
They serve as a public burial ground for those who lack the means or family to arrange a private burial. This includes individuals who die without identification, those who are impoverished, or those who are otherwise unclaimed. They are also referred to as a pauper's grave. Yeah.
I've heard that before. I've never heard of a potter's field before.
Yeah,
but that's interesting.
I have to tell you something, husband.
Yeah.
So, do you remember yesterday I sent you a link to a butterfly show that I wanted to go see?
Yes.
Do you know how I found that?
No.
I was looking up, are there potter's fields near us?
Oh.
And what came up is that there was a potter's field in Cincinnati that was moved at some time and is now being overrun by weeds and stuff. And so the city of Cincinnati is asking for help in respecting the graves of these unmarked people, unnamed people.
Yeah.
And, you know, how do we get rid of the weeds and not damage the graves of these unknown people, blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
And there's like 20,000 graves there or some shit like that.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. And anyway, so through that, I was on the city of Cincinnati's park website.
Yeah.
And they have this really cool, this is totally off topic now, but I was looking for the potter's field near us.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was one in Cincinnati and it was moved and now they're looking for help with it.
Sure.
And so I'm on that website and I see that they have an event down in Cincinnati called Gothica Botanica. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it's a fucking butterfly show, but done like seriously done up in Gothic stuff, like Gothic architecture and coloring and aesthetic. And it's an event that you can go to, and it's a butterfly house, and you only get to spend like 45 minutes with the butterflies in there, but it's all like dark and moody.
Right.
And it's like $10 a person. And I'm like, oh, your next day off, we are fucking going to that. So thank you, Pottersfield, for leading me to Gothica Botanica.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, a fun thing to do with my family.
For sure.
Okay. So anyway, Popper's grave.
Something I would like to talk about probably on one of our specials at some point is our significance placed on grave markers and grave sites, right?
Yeah,
because it makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense either religiously or scientifically.
Right. And, well, I mean, I'm sure at this point we have more dead than we have alive, for sure, right? So it's whatever.
I've always been
we're going to run out of room, and we can't care for all of them. So like,
I've always been disturbed by graveyards for this exact reason. Like, and I'm talking going back to childhood.
Yeah.
I've been disturbed by graves.
Sure.
I don't understand.
Well, I think that's one of those things. Like, you know, we had when I was younger, we lived in a small town. We played a thing called Ghost in the Graveyard, and it was like, you know, there was always this like significance placed on graveyards that was extra worldly at some level.
Well,
right?
that's really funny. I read something called, I can't remember what it's called, but it said that your respect for the dead will show in whether you refer to them as a graveyard or a cemetery. When you're playing around in it and you're running around, it's a graveyard. But if you're visiting somebody that you care about, it's very important and momentous. We're going to visit them at the cemetery.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's one of those like how.
The euphemism choice of word matters.
Right.
Where's the dead body buried?
Right. I guess my whole hang up on it is like the amount of significance we give to dead bodies, right?
Yeah.
Like essentially it's a very archaic and not rooted in logic idea that we hold as a society. And I love the idea of the natural burials and like things where you don't take up space in the world when you die, because whole fields dedicated to dead people is just weird to me.
Right.
It's fucking weird.
No, I've always felt that way.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the world is coming to my appreciation of that weirdness.
Right.
Because I was the weird one when I was a kid for being weirded out by dead. Like people were like, but that's where your relatives are buried. And I was like, I don't really know my relatives, so I don't have a lot of emotional significance to that.
It's not like visiting their gravestone because of like emotional ties to that person is significant. But maybe, if we look at it another way, visiting a place where you had a great time together is also an emotional tie to that person, right?
Or maybe like going through a ritual that you shared with them. Maybe you guys always went to lunch at a Chinese food place.
I like that idea better because it's actually a remembrance of them as opposed to the thought of they're dead and right here.
Yeah, exactly.
To me, the remembrance is more important than the...
Why does it got to be tied to where their bones are?
Right.
That's what I don't get.
Yeah.
Like, and if it does, why does it? I don't know. Whatever.
You just burn me up so I don't come back as a zombie.
I know
you're scared to death of zombies.
I'm scared
I don't
of
want to be the
zombies.
zombie that kills you.
Right?
So
yeah, I don't want to be a zombie, and I don't want zombies to kill me.
Right? Yeah.
So I'm like, just throw me in a ditch, but definitely cut my head off first, and like maybe circle me with salt so my ghost doesn't come back either.
Just in case, Right.
Yeah. So, not to mention, have you heard that all of the dead bodies, like all of the like formaldehyde and the toxins and chemicals that we put into burying the bodies are starting to destroy the water table?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which that makes sense.
Right.
You put all this shit in the planet. What the fuck did you expect? It's just going to fucking sit there? That's not what happens.
The multitude of other things we're doing to destroy the world.
Yeah,
right?
People are a fucking pestilence on the planet.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, Popper's grave. So Zechariah knew that the people preferred the sort of society where the greedy could get what they wanted by exploiting others. And in the end, such a society would destroy its own self. Mwah, 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 mwah. Okay.
Yep.
So now we're coming up on the end of chapter 11.
Okay.
After the prophet had broken the two crooks, which were the true badges of his pastoral office, to denote the annulling of God's covenant with them, he is directed to take instruments calculated to hurt and destroy, to express the judgments which God was about to inflict on them by wicked rulers and guides who should first destroy the flock and in the end be destroyed themselves. Okay. So God's now going to allow the foolish shepherds to come to his people. So in the second play, Zechariah played the part of a bad and foolish shepherd, the sort of shepherd Israel wanted, who did not care for the sheep the way that the shepherd should.
Yeah.
And this cruel and selfish leadership was what the people deserved and would be God's means of punishing them. The worthless shepherd feels the sword of God's punishment against his arm and his right eye. Okay, and we were like, that's very specific and weird.
Right, yeah.
Right? So the arm expresses strength. Okay.
Right.
And the eye expresses intelligence, because remember that's how they, remember when we did a thing about the symbolism of eyes throughout history?
Yeah.
And like one of the things that we uncovered is that the eye was how they observed and took in information.
Sure.
So their very observing of things was what they tied to intelligence.
Yeah.
So when you see like the eye, it's like tied with wisdom.
Okay.
Right. Not the brain, the eye.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the arm expresses strength and military might, that kind of thing, and the eye expresses intelligence, symbolizing military failure and moral blindness. Okay, so that makes it make a little bit more sense.
Right.
And I remember at the time we even said, I'm sure that there's a reason behind like the right arm and the right eye, but not the foot, not the ball sack, not the nose. This is that reason.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, yeah.
And this poetic justice also suggests that power will be punished by the same strength it abused. So this will be a harsh blow against the worthless shepherd.
Okay.
The end.
Okay. All right.
I have one more thing to add that is also off topic. While I was looking at the names of the two sticks, Peace and Harmony,
right,
or whatever
they are.
Yeah, I will never remember them as anything but Peace and Harmony
sure.
now. I recalled that the two lions that sit in front of the New York Public Library are named something.
Oh.
And I was like, are they named something like Peace and Harmony or some shit like that from the Bible? Yes, they are named something, but no, not these things.
Okay.
They are named Patience and Fortitude.
Ah.
And they are named that because
I was really hoping for Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted would be great.
Yeah, right.
But they were named that because the city would require both of those attributes.
Got it.
And those lions are used now in all of the New York Public Library's logos and stuff.
Got it. Yeah.
Which Patience and Fortitude. Patience is the one as you're facing the building. Patience is the one on the left, and Fortitude is the one on the right. And they are not from the Bible, and that is cool. The end.
All right. Well, that was our Q&A for Zechariah chapters 9 through 11. Mm-hmm. And like I said at the beginning of the podcast, we might not be back for a few days just because of circumstances. So, you know, I know we've been a little flaky here of late, and we're going to try to do better. But right now, because of everything going on, we unfortunately don't have the ability to do that. So
hang with us,
and we will be back soon. And thank you, as always, for being a fan. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye. Husband,
wife,
do you know what we're doing today?
We're doing like a special of a special of a special.
I mean, it ain't that special.
It's our first live Sunday. Are you kidding me? We're on Discord. We're live on a Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, but the topic is not that special.
But this is fucking special.
I mean, I guess if you're Greek, you might find it special.
It's all Greek to me.
I actually have that in my notes.
I took it from you.
You did. You stole it. Yeah, it's Greece, baby.
Yeah, I think we're gonna, because we've been talking about Greece a little bit lately.
We have, and I was getting confused because I know Greece is like great and stuff.
Right.
And like, I didn't know what time periods everything was happening, like with regard to like, where are we at with the Bible versus the real world.
I mean, I could say
I said the real world.
I've been confused about time frames pretty much throughout the whole Old Testament. It's not real. Like, they bounce all over the place back and forth. And then, you know, sometimes the Bible doesn't even know where the fuck they are. Right. They're just like, I'm here. God's just saying something. And,
somebody's in some desert somewhere.
But, you know, Greece entered the picture, and I'm like, okay, what's, you know, because of the Septuagint and, you know, all the things, and I'm curious. So
I know. And like, we're always saying, you know, the Septuagint, the Greek translation, and I was like, wait, was that written yet? When was that?
And I think we've decided that we're doing these Sunday ones because they're kind of a once a month deal. And we're going to try to make it more biblically oriented, because a lot of the people that we talk to that are overseas that wanted us to do these lives,
they can't make it on our late night Sunday because being overseas, they are like middle of the night for them.
Well, and more than that, you know, America sucks. And our politics suck. Right. And we tend to go into politics sometimes.
We do.
But they don't need to hear about our politics.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's fair.
So we're going to keep it biblical on these once a month as far as like deep dives and things like that.
Yeah.
And this is our first live Discord Sunday special.
Yeah. It's Greece, baby. All right. It's Greece, baby.
All right.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready for this.
Yeah. Okay. So with regard to where we're at, right? We were doing the Babylonian exile, and now we're out of the Babylonian exile.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
We're coming back home. You know, we've got all these prophets talking about shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's bring it all back together now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that I felt was a really good time to pick up with, wait, what's happening? Where's Greece?
Historical context.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on in the fucking world right now?
Right.
Why are we all of a sudden hearing about Greece when we haven't gave a shit the whole fucking Bible so far?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. So I thought I would put this in context by centuries. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to buzz through some centuries, like 100 years will go by in like 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're going to start in the 500 BCEs. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got in 539-ish, and all of these are like circa, a roundabout.
Sure.
Or like-ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like they had Google Calendar and like we can just track it back to that specific date and time.
If I ever say a hard date, understand, like, this is my caveat. Understand that has an asterisk in that there's a C before it.
Sure.
Circa, a roundabout. Okay.
It would have been a lot easier for God to just RSVP people through like Google Calendar, though.
I know.
If he would have just had them invent that back then,
that would have been epic.
He could have got them all, you know, into the Babylonian exile real efficiently. They would have known what time to leave and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, stop. You go too far. All right, so I'm going to start at 539 BCE. Okay?
Yeah.
That's when Cyrus the Great of Persia conquered Babylon. Okay, so Persia now rules the former Babylonian territories. Okay, so I went back in time a little bit.
Sure.
Okay,
but this is after the Babylonian exile stuff.
No. We're not quite there yet.
You said Cyrus the Great, right?
Yeah, not Alexander and not just hang on. Listen. Okay. Follow me. Okay.
All right, I'm following.
So Cyrus the Great of Persia conquers Babylon. Persia now rules the former Babylonian territories, including Judah. Okay. Now, Greece at this time is still a scattered set of independent city-states, not yet an empire. And we're about to learn about big names like Athens, Sparta, Corinth. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So Cyrus in 538 BCE.
Just for the record, this is after the Babylonian exile.
Hang on.
No, you said it wasn't.
Okay. So. Can you wait? Okay. 539 is when Cyrus conquers Babylon, okay?
Yeah.
When he takes over, then in 538 BCE, he issues the edict allowing the Jews to return home, and that's the end of the Babylonian exile.
Okay, that's the end. I just wanted it started before that, though. That's why I was getting at that.
Right, so. But I was like trying to explain to you, and you were like, not.
I want to make sure.
But that's what I'm saying. Hold on. I see you. I hear you.
All right.
Just follow me.
Got it.
Okay. Follow me.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
So 538-ish BCE.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, Jews, you can go home now. So it's the end of the Babylonian exile. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the start of the post-exilic period in Judah. And that's when Ezra, Nehemiah, Haggai, and Zechariah are running around going, dur, 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 dur.
Yeah.
Let's get it back together, guys.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? It feels like they were a little bit more, the imagery is a lot more vivid with regard to these crazy premonitions and visions and what have you after the Babylonian exile.
Yes.
I wonder if they were just exposed to a lot of like weed brownies in Babylon.
They were exposed to a lot more stuff than their predecessors. They were exposed to so many more ideas and religions and cultures and just all kinds of stuff. And so these quote unquote prophets were worried that they were losing their source that pulled them together.
Okay.
So they were making these prophecies both to give them something to hope for together as a group, and also to scare them back together as a group.
So they kind of viewed that their religion was backed into a corner and they're fighting for everything they can to bring it back.
Yeah. They're like, don't forget your roots. Don't forget who you are. We're one people. We've been scattered, but we're one.
Right.
And so it was very important to these prophets who were like raised in the religion and, tasked with these jobs to keep their people together.
Sure.
And to give them a reason to want to be together. Because, Cyrus ain't so bad and they've got houses and shit.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And
could be worse. It could be, what were those guys that were like,
the Assyrians.
The Assyrians. They were terrible.
They were terrible.
At least they didn't conquer them.
Right. But the ones in Babylon, like a lot of them had nice houses, education. Some even had like decent positions. They had slaves to do work for them. Like they didn't have it. Not all of them had it so bad.
Right. And if your life's going, all right. There's not a huge impetus to like uproot that.
Yeah.
So they're pitching hard.
They're pitching hard
to get their community and their people back together.
And if you can't get them excited, the only thing that works better than excitement is fear.
We know that all too well.
We do know that all too well.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's what they did. So then in the 530 to 480 BCEs, okay? During this time period, this is like a 50-year time period, okay? That gaps the 500 to 400 changeover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got the rise of the Persian Empire because, Cyrus is ruling that now.
Yeah.
So Persia rules Judah as a province. Meanwhile, Greece is undergoing one of the most transformative and influential periods in world history.
Okay.
At the same time. Okay.
Yeah.
So at this time, Greece is still divided. It's not yet a unified country. It's a collection of city-states like Athens, Sparta, Corinth, and Thebes.
Okay.
Yeah. And these city-states are often switching alliances and at war with each other. They're like brother and sister. They're like siblings. They're always fighting with each other, but they will team up for a common enemy.
Right. Remember Sparta.
Remember Sparta. Exactly.
Or this is Sparta. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Each city-state has its own government systems and cultures. Okay. So they are very much separate, even though they are together.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that was like starting in 530. Okay. So 520 to 518 BCE, that is when Zechariah was the most active as a prophet.
Okay. All right.
He was warning his people during a time when two cultural superpowers, Persia and the budding Greece.
Yeah.
Greece, baby. Were about to massively collide.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he saw all this coming. That's why he was fire and brimstone, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. Okay. So that gives a little bit more context to why he was freaking the fuck out.
Sure.
Okay?
No, I mean, like that was some serious shit going on over there.
And I did not realize, like, we kind of had a sense there must be a lot of other things happening. Yeah, there was.
Right.
And this is what it is.
But it's interesting hearing about it. Like, we're reading this from the Israelites' perspective, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of outside of the box of that whole thing that's going on between Greece and Persia, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's something that's in their zeitgeist, but they don't really understand. Like, it's not directly affecting them, so it's just kind of over there. And it affects how they think about the world in general, but it doesn't, like, it's not directly affecting them right that moment in their life. So it's more of so it comes through in prophecies. It comes through in, like, if this thing happens over there, we might be fucked later. So beware, and our God needs to take care of it.
It's not as over there far away as you might think.
Okay.
Because a lot of the trade routes and stuff are bringing stories and are bringing the religions.
Sure.
And are bringing the thought processes.
Right.
And we're going to see that happen even after Zechariah's time, because I'm going to go past Zechariah a bit. Okay.
Sure.
Obviously, he doesn't live for like 500 years.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So it's not as over there-ish as you might think.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So we're moving out of the 500s. Okay. So we've got 500 BCE is when the classical period begins. And that is a huge overarching period that stretches from 500 BCE around about to 323 BCE.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all the 400s and over half of the 300 BCEs.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The 400s was a fucking amazing time in Greece.
Okay.
It was a good time to be alive in Greece.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So that's
this is where we hear all the Greece, the story about Greece. And, things that were going on.
All
there.
the stuff was in 400s BCE.
That's history for you. All the stuff.
That's
all you need to know.
I mean,
all the stuff.
Literally, like, I'm going to get into it and give you some dates, and it's amazing how much happened in just this one century.
Right.
Okay. Like, I would only compare it to the maybe advent of cell phone technology in the like 1900s, and watching how that one century we started out with no cell phones, and then by the end of the 1900s we had cell phones and computers and we walked on the moon. Like, by the end of the 1900s, right, like that one stretch of time
was huge.
Technology just went from 0 to 100 miles an hour.
Right.
And that's what was happening in Greece.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to kind of put it in context a little, when you think about 100-year stretch, that's what it looks like.
Got it.
Okay. So this era is considered the high point of Greek culture. We've got philosophy, drama, art, science, and democracy all flourishing.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The Greeks don't have an empire yet, but the seeds are there.
Okay. All right.
So in 490 BCE, that's the start of the Persian Wars. Cyrus the Great.
Yeah.
He's not doing as great. Okay. So the Persian Wars helped forge a collective Greek identity.
Do you think they changed his name to Cyrus the Meh?
The Mid. Well, remember I told you that like these city-states, like they were like siblings, that they would fight amongst themselves, but they would like come together for a common enemy.
Sure. Yeah.
Kind of like what's happening in Canada right now. Like, Canada is kind of dispersed. Like, they have different language pockets in Canada.
Yeah.
Like, Quebec is more French, and like other parts of Canada are not so much, right?
Sure.
And like, they didn't really have like a combined patriotism, but then like America was like, I'm going to make you the 51st state. And now Canada is like, bitch, elbows up, love Canada. Canadians have come together, and they were like, don't even a little bit. Like, there is nothing like a common enemy to suddenly make a surge in patriotism. And that's what happened in Greece. Okay?
Got it. When you said it's like Canada, I'm like imagining them warring between, Alberta and
Quebec,
they
weren't warring, but they
Ontario, and I'm like, wow, what's going on up there? I missed something.
They weren't warring, but they did like have a lot of the same, more laid back, but a lot of the same conservative versus progressive ideas that we did. Like, they did have those issues up there.
Sure.
We didn't hear about them because they weren't to us as big a deal. because ours were like in your fucking face with red hats.
Yeah, it was a completely different version than what the U.S. is dealing with.
Right.
But yes.
But for them, it was a big deal.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
I mean, the fact that they don't agree on stuff is like Canadians disagree with
I
each
guess
other.
I missed a beat when we went from comparing, things like Sparta fighting people to Canada.
But I didn't
I
say
lost the
Sparta.
thread there.
You're talking about Sparta. I'm not talking about
Well, that's
Sparta.
what was in my head.
No,
you know?
I'm talking about various city-states that are like siblings.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
They don't always agree on everything. And sometimes, like, in the case of Greece, they fight amongst themselves. Now, yes, in Canada, they don't fight amongst themselves. They merely say, hey, what? Okay? But they come together for a common enemy.
Sure.
I'm also trying to, like, draw parallels so that people can kind of get a sense of, like, comparison.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So, anyway, combined forces for one single enemy.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, we've got a collective Greek identity all of a sudden because they're like, fuck those Persians.
Right.
They're not getting us.
Yeah.
Okay? So, this set the stage for the Athens Golden Age.
Okay.
Okay? Persia, don't forget, that's the same empire ruling Judah, tries to conquer Greece. And Greece is like, not even a little bit.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this is 490 BCE. We get the Battle of Marathon, which, not the Marathon gas station.
Right.
Right.
Or the one you run.
Not the marathon that is a race.
Right.
Not that one. No. But Athens, there's your Athens, okay?
Yeah.
Defeats a much larger Persian force.
Okay.
And they're like, fuck yeah, we did.
Was this the bit that we saw in the movie?
No.
300?
No.
No.
No. That is coming up. Okay.
Okay.
That is Athens, not Sparta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. So in 480 to 479 BCE, so 10 years later.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got the Battle of Thermopylae, and that's 300 Spartans and allies heroically resist Xerxes' army.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Battle of Salamis. Salamis.
Salami? Sure.
That's when the Athenian navy delivers a crushing blow to Persia.
That's really weird to think of a navy pre, modern era. Like I don't hardly even think of people having boats back then, but they were fighting on the water even back.
They sure as fuck were.
That's
and
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like all of the Homerian epics.
Yeah. No, they had boats, but
they
didn't have fucking cannons, did they? I mean, like, what do you just like jumping from one ship to the other? You swimming over to poke holes in their bow or what?
They had gods and goddesses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
and storms
magic.
and
They just toss some magic from from one ship to the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Spartans beat the Persians. Now the Athenian navy beats the Persians.
The Persians aren't having a good day down there.
They are not having a fucking good day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's after the Persians got beat in Marathon by the Athenians.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not doing good. Okay. Greek influence floods near the ancient Near East. Okay?
As it would. Because
they are kicking ass.
If you're beating those assholes into the ground, they're like, oh, these guys obviously got some power, so we
their
should
God
probably,
is good.
they're doing all right.
Including Judea. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the people in and around Judea are increasingly exposed to all these international ideas via trade and via all of the war stories, like what's happening? Have you heard about my uncle and blah, blah, blah?
Right.
Okay. Zechariah was writing during this rising Greek arc. Okay. So it's coming up.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck those fucking Greeks.
Well, and maybe more importantly, the part that we're getting into now that happens later was during that Greek arc, probably. Mm-hmm. I mean, that we don't know exactly, but it was definitely written after the Zechariah time frame. So
yeah. So then we've got 460 to 430 BCE. Okay. And so after those Persian Wars, this is when Greece enters its golden age. Okay. This 30-year period is the golden age.
Because they came together for war and then they stayed together because, defense.
Because they beat that ass.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So we've got philosophy, drama, art, science, and democracy.
Yay!
Okay? Yeah. So while the returning exiles...
We could use some of that.
Yeah, we could. While the returning exiles were busy building the temple for their god, Greece is inventing democracy and planting the seeds of empire.
What are you even doing with your life, Israelites?
They're like making math and science, like Pythagorean theorem and shit. And meanwhile, like the dudes are like, but God. And the Greeks are like, hey.
Right.
Under statesman Pericles, Athens becomes a democracy that thrives. Now, it's only for the free male citizens, but that's still a big deal. I mean, our democracy today still carries some of the elements of that original democracy.
Absolutely.
So it is to be praised. It's the first of its kind.
Right. Yeah.
Athens in particular becomes the cultural and intellectual hub of the ancient world during that time period.
As it would. I mean, you've solidified your spot in the world as a powerhouse, and you are going to set the example.
And here's the thing. Greece did not go out to conquer those guys.
Right.
Greece merely said, fuck you for trying to conquer us.
Right.
So that's the difference. It wasn't that they wanted empire. They wanted to not be drawn into somebody else's empire.
Right.
That's what made them a strong force.
Sure.
Okay. Yep. The defense. Okay. So now I'm going to like bounce around a little bit and give you what was happening with the philosophers and big actors in Greece at that time. Okay. And I will give each of them, I'll tell you like how they fall into comparison of Zechariah's time frame. Okay.
Yeah.
So by this point, he's dead. Okay. Zechariah's dead. Okay. So we've got Hippocrates, known as the father of medicine. Okay. He was doing his stuff roughly 50 years after Zechariah's time.
Okay. All right.
His work marks the shift from supernatural explanations of illness to natural observable causes, and represents how Greek thought was turning towards systematic, rational inquiry, which is a really good contrast with the prophetic worldview of the Hebrew Bible.
Yeah.
Because they were like, because God. And they're like, but why though? Could we just see that again, maybe? Could you do that in a lab?
Right. Yeah.
Could you repeat that experiment where we could all see it, maybe?
No, I that's the part about religion I don't really understand, right? Why are people okay with just not asking questions?
Yeah.
Like when someone tells you, don't worry about it, God's got it or whatever.
Yeah.
Why is that an okay answer?
Or why do you, and you being okay with it, like, why are you not okay with me not being okay with it? Like, I'm glad you find peace in your simplicity, but clearly I don't have the same fucking brain as you, and I can't be that simple.
Sure.
Like,
and not only that, like, you get angry when I question the simplicity of your idea.
Instead of just saying, I don't know, God, I don't fucking know.
Like, I just believe what I believe. I'm fine with that. You can believe what you believe, right?
That would be awesome.
But I'm allowed to question things.
Right.
I'm allowed to think for myself.
Like, I'm sorry you don't know the answer, but that doesn't make me an asshole for asking. Okay.
That's just it. It doesn't apply to anything else in the world except for religion, right?
Yeah.
If you were to ask something about, well, why is that the case, about something that was like pertinent to your safety or whatever, people wouldn't question why you're questioning.
Right.
But all of a sudden you question a dude who like makes people from thousands of years ago follow him around as a smoke cloud. And they're like, don't question God. And I'm like, why?
That's weird.
Why all of a sudden with this are we carrying whether I question something or not?
Right. Okay. So obviously the famous Hippocratic Oath is attributed to Hippocrates.
Yeah.
Or his school. Maybe not him particularly, but it might have been his school.
Sure.
Okay. And it was probably only formalized a bit later.
Right. So the Hippocratic Oath is what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So, okay, that was Hippocrates.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've got Herodotus, who is often called the father of history. So we just had the father of medicine. In the same century, we've got the father of history.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was writing around 60 years after Zechariah's time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he wrote his major work, Histories, and that covered the Greco-Persian Wars, the rise of the Persian Empire, and the various cultures he encountered, including Egyptians, Scythians, and Babylonians.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was like writing as things were happening. He was recording history in its time.
Which was a new phenomenon, kind of.
Yes.
Right.
And that's why he's called the father of history, because he was recording events as they occurred.
Right. And I would say probably, well, at least based on our experience through the Bible, it oftentimes was either a political rewriting or an embellishment that happened hundreds of years later.
And
or
politically
whatever,
influenced.
Yeah, politically influenced. And,
Yeah.
and most of the current writings were just journals or some type of a speech or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But this guy was like actually writing history.
Right.
And he's the father of history. So we've got the father of medicine. And then 10 years later, we've got the father of history. Same time period.
Very
okay?
cool. Yeah.
Okay. We're not done.
No?
No, not even a
okay.
little bit.
All
We've
right.
got the Socratic method happening.
Oh.
Socrates, known for asking probing questions to expose contradictions. This was about 70 years after Zechariah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
you see, we're like every 10 years, we've got another like mastermind,
Right.
just genius. Okay.
Yeah.
Socrates didn't actually write, but his student Plato preserved his teachings. And
Okay.
we'll get to that dude in a minute.
Yeah.
Socrates was executed by drinking hemlock in about 399 BCE
Well, shit.
for allegedly corrupting the youth and impiety. Yeah.
Okay.
Corrupting the youth with logic.
I see.
Yeah.
So there was definitely not a large amount of acceptance for this at the time,
Right.
at least in some levels.
We appreciate them better today than they did during their time.
Obviously.
But still, yeah. So then this dude, Thucydides, roughly a generation after Herodotus, which is the father of history,
Yeah.
and about 80 years after Zechariah, Thucydides is called the first modern historian
Okay.
for his emphasis on cause and evidence as opposed to divine intervention.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So his major work, History of the Peloponnesian War, covered the conflict between Athens and Sparta as it was happening.
Really neat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
His work is much more analytical and less mythic than Herodotus even. So
Okay.
we've got the father of history, and then
He took
like,
those ideas and
a
ran with them.
generation later, yeah, we've got Thucydides as like, you know what? Let's take even more magic out of it.
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, this stuff is just like, this is all the same century. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we've got Aristophanes, roughly 90 years after the Babylonian exile.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was the master of old comedies in Athens. So his plays give us a window into Athenian democracy, war weariness, gender roles, and how Greeks used humor as social and political commentary. He was like the Saturday Night Live of his time. And like that mixed with maybe like the Daily Show,
Okay.
but in togas.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He's famous for sharp political satire, slapstick humor, bawdy jokes, and the following plays. He wrote The Clouds in 423 BCE, which mocked Socrates, who he was a contemporary with.
Okay.
Lysistrata in 411 BCE, which is the story where women go on a strike to stop war, which we've heard that story before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one, The Frogs in 405 BCE, which is a parody packed trip to the underworld. And I want to read it.
Interesting.
I've heard of the other two. I've not even heard of The Frogs.
Yeah. I
want to
haven't
read
either.
this play.
Yeah.
Like, I need to read this play.
Right.
Okay. So he's a big deal. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So then we've got Plato. Okay. And he's roughly 100 years after Zechariah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a student of Socrates. He wrote his shit down.
Yeah.
And he recorded much of what we know about Socrates. He founded the academy, the first academy, like capital A, the academy.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first institution of higher learning in the Western world around 387 BCE.
Wow.
He made college.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Plato bridges transition from classical city-state era to the coming age of empire. He was a key figure in shaping Western philosophical and political thought. He wrote The Republic, which we've all heard of. Very important piece.
Right.
And that piece explored justice, the ideal state, and the philosopher king around 375 BCE.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this fucking century.
There's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah. We've got the Parthenon was built atop the Acropolis of Athens, a marvel of architecture. It was built to honor Athena Parthenos, the city's patron goddess, and it symbolized Athenian power, culture, and devotion during a time of massive civic pride and artistic achievement.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because it was an architecture marvel, but at the same time, it was about a goddess.
Yeah.
So they were still combining the two, but using all of their logic and stuff to try to make it work.
Right. They wove it into the whole fabric of what they were.
Mm-hmm. And that was about 80 to 100 years after Zechariah's prophetic activity.
Sure.
That's when the Parthenon was
strikes
built.
me that, the ideas that permeated this time frame with the Grecians?
The Greeks.
The Greeks. Thank you. These ideas have pulled through time, like democracy, the Hippocratic Oath, these ideas
the math,
have all
sciences, philosophies,
permeated
histories,
modern societies, right? And even across cultures even.
Yeah.
And it just feels like this culture that is being formed that we're talking about maybe has more influence than God does.
Yeah.
Like God is only a certain group of people. And this has actually more influence worldwide than God does.
And that was terrifying for a group who could not get its shit together.
Right.
Yeah.
And if God's so powerful, why didn't he come up with these great ideas?
Exactly. That was very challenging. Okay, so last dude I'm going to mention is Aristotle. And also, I didn't even mention, there were so many other playwrights from this time that I could have mentioned. Thucydides is one of them.
I think you missed some mathematicians and different things like that, too. So,
Pythagoras is one of the dudes from that time period. Yeah, there's so many. But the last one I'm going to mention is Aristotle.
Okay.
Yeah. He was a student of Plato. Okay. So Socrates taught Plato. Plato taught Aristotle.
Sure.
And then Aristotle taught at the Academy of Athens, and he taught Alexander the Great.
Oh, wow.
As a teenager.
Interesting.
Around 343 BCE.
Okay.
Yeah. So, these ideas are just getting passed down in this century.
Right, right.
He founded his own school separate from the academy called the Lyceum in Athens around 335 BCE.
I've definitely heard of that. Yeah.
He made foundational contributions to and shaped Western thought in science, biology, metaphysics, logic, ethics, and politics.
Wow.
His work deeply influenced not only Greek and Roman intellectual traditions, but also Islamic, Jewish, and Christian medieval thought, making him one of the most important philosophers in world history.
Yeah.
This was about 150 years after the Babylonian exile.
Right.
Okay.
This is some steep competition for gods.
Yeah.
You've got all these big time thinkers with all these ideas and all these philosophies and ways of changing the world, right? And instead, some cultures are still arguing over, which fucking foods to eat and which clothes to wear.
On what day of the week.
Right.
Because which god will be
It just
happier.
makes it seem so fucking small.
Right. Exactly.
And I don't know how gods pulled through this, but it seems like it shouldn't have.
Yeah, no,
but,
totally.
Obviously they did.
Yeah.
So what do I know?
Womp womp.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So those were all happening. And I know that is past where we're currently at as we're reading the Bible.
Yeah.
But this was all brewing at the time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I feel like...
And it's not that far past.
It's not. It's not. And that's why I didn't mind going ahead even further a little bit.
We haven't even made it to Jesus yet.
No, I know. And I kind of wanted to get an idea what was happening in Greece in the lead up to Jesus.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So next we're going to talk about the 300 BCEs.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Very brief.
Yeah.
I have titled this one, Alexander is so fucking great.
Okay.
Because Alexander right?
Yes.
And he learned from Plato. So, How could he not?
He did,
right?
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, was it Plato?
That's right. I think you got it. It was Aristotle, I thought.
Yeah, Aristotle. My bad. Yeah, Aristotle.
Yeah.
Aristotle learned from Plato. Sorry, skipped the dude. All right. So in 431 to 404 BCE, we've got the Peloponnesian War. That was a super long, brutal conflict between Athens and Sparta.
Okay.
And that sucks.
Yeah.
Because Sparta eventually won, but the entire war weakened all of Greece.
Well, sure, it's an internal conflict. You know, like that's not going to be good.
Internal conflicts are bad, as we Americans know. This paved the way for the Macedonian dominance coming. Okay.
Okay. All right.
In 359 to 336-ish BCE, we get Philip II of Macedon.
Okay.
That's his reign.
Got it.
Okay. He united most of Greece under Macedonian rule through diplomacy, warfare, and strategic marriages.
Got it.
His rise marks the end of the independent Greek city-states and the beginning of the pan-Hellenic imperial ambitions, which is a huge shift in Greek and world history.
Yeah.
Okay, so the golden age is over.
Right.
But the ideas cannot be killed, obviously.
Sure.
And so now Philip is ruling this really smart place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude planned to invade the Persian Empire, but was assassinated in 336 BCE just before he could launch the campaign.
Oh, damn.
And we kind of have talked about this before when we did a special episode over Alexander the Great, because the Jews revered him.
Yeah.
Do you recall that?
Somewhat,
it was
yeah.
When we were doing like from the stories and tales.
Yeah.
Jewish stories and tales and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. So his son, though, in 334 to 331 BCE, Philip's son is Alexander the Great.
Okay.
And he took up the Persian conquest after daddy's death.
Got it.
Okay. So
and obviously, because of, who we know more, he must have done a better job.
He did. He conquered most of the known world at that time.
Sure.
Persia, Egypt, parts of India. I mean,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they call him
I've looked at
Great.
his track before, like where he all went in the world to do his conquering. I'm like, you don't even have vehicles, and you were all over the fucking place.
He was pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, how could he not be, though? He was raised on Greek ideas.
Right. Well, and I think more importantly than that, like he was a conqueror, but people, like you said, like the Israelites revered him. Like he was because oftentimes not a horrible conqueror.
He was less a conqueror and more a historian and a culture gatherer.
Right. And that's not to take away from the fact that he was still spreading war and killing people.
He was, but he was also spreading ideas.
Sure.
And it's thanks to him that so many ideas prevailed throughout history.
No, absolutely.
So this ended the Persian rule over Judah.
Okay.
So no more Persian rule over Judah. Yay!
Yeah,
Judah's free, I guess.
Right.
So Judea becomes part of the Greek world at this point.
Okay.
Because that, Alexander the Great is in charge now.
Yeah, and you're not going to fight that dude.
Nope. So Alexander spreads Hellenistic culture all over the fucking place, including Jerusalem, and he blends Greek with Persian, Egyptian, and Indian influences.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he's got like the best of all possible worlds, like everything cool and smart and pretty and yummy.
Take a little bit from here, a little bit from there.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's good.
He's tossing all of these cultures and ideas all over the place, mixing them because, that's what he wants.
Right.
He doesn't want to rule the world. He wants to have everybody combined.
But I thought everybody wants to rule the world.
No, that's a song. So this explains how Greek ideas, language, culture, and philosophy later flood into Jewish and Christian thought.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and we're going to talk about that in just a second.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the last thing I'm going to say about the 300s is in 323 BCE, thereabouts.
Yeah.
Alexander dies and his generals fight over the empire, which gets divided.
Okay.
And that's when we've got the Greek side versus the Roman side.
Okay.
Seleucid Empire eventually rules Judah from Syria, and the Ptolemaic Empire rules Egypt and sometimes Judah. Like,
okay.
go back and forth. Dappled horses, remember?
Yeah.
So this sets the stage for the Maccabees that we're going to read about, and Hanukkah a couple centuries later. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's like setting the stage for what's to come.
Sure.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about the 200s, and this is like, I'm pretty much wrapping toward the end, because the 200s is when the Septuagint was written.
Oh, okay.
So the Septuagint's not even around yet.
Right.
I was like, wait, like it put it in context for me. It placed it.
Yeah.
It put a pin in the timeline.
Well, because in our time frame, right now, it gets referenced in the same light when they're talking about things from the older Bible, like the older Old Testament, sections.
Yeah.
But it wasn't actually even written until much later.
Yeah,
so.
It had not been translated into Greek yet.
Right.
Okay, so the Septuagint is first created or translated in Alexandria, Egypt in about 250 BCE.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it was commissioned for the large Jewish diaspora in Egypt who spoke Koine Greek, not Hebrew.
Okay. Yeah.
So the Jews that were dispersed. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tradition claims that over 7 Jewish scholars translated the Torah, which was Genesis through Deuteronomy. So just the Pentateuch, just those first 5 books.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That 7 Jewish scholars translated this for the Library of Alexandria. And that's why it's called the Septuagint, because that is Latin for 70.
Okay.
Okay. And so that's a thing. Okay. Oh, I said 7, but I meant 70.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry. It's 70, not, I left a 0 out. Sorry.
70 people.
Yeah. 70.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was aimed to preserve Jewish scripture for Greek-speaking Jews and to integrate it into the wider Hellenistic world.
Sure.
The version was used by early Christians, including the writers of the New Testament, who quoted that even more than the Hebrew version.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Which, remember, we talked about this a little bit, how back then they preferred to use the Septuagint, but then later on, they rejected that and started using the other one, the Latin one.
There's been translation issues for, as long as they can remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Which can't muddle things at all,
Okay, so they used, they used the Septuagint because that's the language that they were speaking at the time, right?
Right.
But they rejected it later because of what I'm about to get into.
Okay. Yeah.
This shows how the Greek and Jewish cultures were blending during the Hellenistic period after Alexander the Great's conquest, and it marks a shift in Jewish identity. They were no longer just temple and Torah, but diaspora, language, and philosophy. Okay. Because it was translated in Alexandria, some Greek philosophical ideas inevitably seeped in through language choice, conceptual framing, and interpretation.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why later they were like, oh, remember how we were using that because that's the language we spoke? But this other translation, the Latin one, actually is more accurate. So anyway, fuck the Greek one.
Accurate is such a weird word when you're talking about, things that didn't actually happen in the first place. But
let me give you some examples here of why they rejected it.
Okay.
Later. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting into the rejection thereof. Like that comes way later.
Sure.
Okay. I'm just telling you why eventually they do decide to do that. Okay. Translators often chose Greek philosophical terms that carried broader conceptual meaning than the original Hebrew. For example, the Hebrew word for wisdom becomes Sophia, which in Greek philosophy, especially Platonism, Plato, it's not just knowledge, but divine reason, cosmic order, truth. Like the word has much more, it's less flat.
Yeah.
It has much more broad understanding, breadth,
Yeah.
Okay. Another example, the Hebrew word for word is often translated using logos, which is a very loaded Greek term meaning reason, logic, divine ordering principle, which is later central to Stoic philosophy and is even used in the Gospel of John. Okay. So the word choice even was like lending to more, they're trying to make it a little bit more sciencey and believably.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So the Septuagint sometimes shows a move toward abstraction, aligning with Platonism. God is described in more philosophical, less anthropomorphic ways than in the Hebrew original.
Okay.
And the Hebrew Bible is very The Hebrew Bible's very earthy, personal God, like walking, regretting, those kind of things.
Right.
It's softened in the Septuagint, where God appears more eternal, immutable, immovable, unchangeable, and transcendent. Closer to Plato's, quote, form of the good, or Aristotle's unmoved mover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an argument.
Yeah, right? That is definitely an argument. So you can see why word choice is going to change your thought process, and that matters.
Yeah.
And so later on, Christians were like, I don't know about all that.
Right.
I think
we like our old God.
Yeah, we like our fire and brimstone. This guy is a little too over there, and
sure,
we can't interact with him as
much.
But
as you were going down that list, there's a lot of things in there that I could pick out kind of on a broader sense of what Christianity is today. Mm-hmm. And I could say that some of those ideas still get cherry picked out of that to be used.
Definitely.
And which is saying, I don't know. There is no right answer when it comes to religion. So,
or translation.
Yeah, because it's not true. It's merely
You're taking fairy tale beliefs that have been lost in time and translated into the ideas of different peoples and the way their thought processes worked at that time, and then redone again.
Sure. And with as many different versions of religion there are today, mm-hmm. and even within those religions, the differing ideas amongst the people that believe that religion, mm-hmm. these are very much, whatever you like about that religion, you just make that happen.
Exactly.
Like, I like that bit. Ooh, that one's good.
Yeah. Like religion today is more like a spiritual buffet.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
As we like to say in the atheist community, cherry picking.
Yeah.
And it's true. They're because there's so much confusion over which translation, what the actual translations mean, the different cultures that they belong to. Mm-hmm. There is, even within this, fictional story about God, there are so many different ways to interpret that. And that doesn't help their cause, because it's so fractured. It's so fractured, and there's not a right answer, which we've talked about many times. Like, why hasn't God come down and clarified?
Right.
Because if there is one answer, why hasn't this been touched for as long as it's not been touched? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
God should clarify
to
somebody.
Totally agree.
If he were real, which he's not.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So, I lost my place. Hold on. Okay. So Proverbs and wisdom literature, especially like the Wisdom of Solomon, which is part of the Deuterocanonical or apocryphal book.
Yeah.
Like not in the actual Bible.
Okay.
These sound a lot like Stoic or Platonic teachings. Okay. The soul's development, self-control, moderation, wisdom, the righteous path leading to a eternal reward, and the fool's path leads to ruin.
Got it.
So we're talking about the basics of good versus evil and ethics.
Right. Yeah.
Like being a good person puts you on a good path, and what it means to be a good person.
Yeah.
So those are very Greek thoughts.
Yeah.
But
again, those have permeated modern thinking into the religion too.
Greek thought emphasized universal truths over tribal or national identities, which I appreciated that statement.
Sure.
The Septuagint subtly shifts from ethnocentric God of Israel language to a more universal God of all, and that prepared the way for the spread of Judaism and Christianity in the Gentile world.
Okay.
This fits Hellenistic ideals of a world community governed by divine reason or law, and sets the stage for the rise of Christianity, which would build even more heavily on this fusion of Jewish ideas being translated literally and conceptually into the Greco-Roman world.
So this was like essentially Christianity maybe was a bit of a compromise for this new power in the world.
Kind of.
At some level, like because it was influenced heavily by it, so there was some give and some going back afterwards too, like we want the old days type stuff. But I mean, it definitely had a strong influence on the fact that it was coming about at that point.
Yeah. So now we're leaving the 200s, and I only have a couple more points to make because we're so far removed. Like we're approaching that zero Jesus line.
Yeah. Right.
In 198 BCE, that's when the Seleucids took control of Judea.
Okay.
Okay. So that's like Greeky.
Okay. Sure.
167 to 160 BCE, that's the Maccabean revolt. The Jews rebel against Hellenistic oppression, and we get the story of Hanukkah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in 63 BCE, that's when Rome enters the chat.
Okay.
Okay. The Roman general Pompey conquers Jerusalem. Greek rule fades. The Roman Empire begins. And centers of learning shift to places like Alexandria in Egypt, where the famous library stood.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to end it there because that's Rome. And I don't want to talk about the Roman Empire.
We don't want to talk about Rome.
No.
What happens in Rome stays in Rome.
Well, today is about Greece, baby. Because that 100-year period, just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't, like, we've heard of all of these philosophers and mathematicians and playwrights and stuff. Like, we've heard of them, but it made better sense that they were scattered throughout time. And, like, I had no kind of conception of where they were. They were all in the same 100-year period.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It is. I mean, that was an amazing thing that happened in world history. I mean, that's why it stands apart from so much else, And obviously it has influenced even the Bible, and it's influenced religion. It's influenced all kinds of things. And all of the transition from, the Old Testament to the New Testament and Christianity, this happened in that world, like, so that it's very relevant to what we talk about.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that we'll talk about it again.
Oh, I'm sure. That's why, even though, again, this is past where we are in the Bible, it still, like, gives us an idea of where we're headed.
Sure.
And why we're headed there.
That's not entirely past where we are in the Bible. We have touched on the Maccabean revolt before. There are sections that we've read earlier that do go into this time frame at some level.
Sure.
So, and there are some stuff that's adjacent to the Bible that we might get into between the Old Testament and the New Testament that will cover some of this too.
Yeah.
So it is relevant, and it does set the stage for where we're going to be transitioning to soon.
Yes.
And I think that's why we felt it was important to cover this.
Yeah, I was really excited. I was like, what do you think? I'm going to do Greece, baby. And you were like, what do you mean? And then I told you, and you were like, are you going to make it relevant? And I was like, yes, obviously.
You make me sound like an asshole.
Well, you are. But,
okay.
But that's okay, because I'm a dum-dum. I'm a potato head. You're an asshole. I'm a potato head. And together the two, I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, I don't either.
I love you, though.
Yeah, I love you, too.
See?
So, I think that's all we got today, right?
I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah.
We got to go get some food at my mom's.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, I always feel weird saying happy
it's not
Memorial Day.
No,
because it's not happy.
Right. It is Memorial Day. We're going to go get some food because it's a long weekend. And
it is our anniversary.
It is our anniversary, too. Yeah. Well, we call it tomorrow, but yeah. And we think it's 18 years. We always argue about this because we got married twice.
You say argue like...
No, it's not an argument at all.
We're not arguing with each other.
Fuck. We're like,
we don't remember.
Somewhere between 16 and 19. We don't know.
Right.
We've been together for a long fucking time.
It's definitely less than 20 and more than 15.
That much we know for sure.
This much I know is true. I love you.
That's right. We did look it up. We've looked it up a couple of times, but we're so used to like not giving a fuck about which actual year it was.
And I'm terrible with numbers anyway.
You are. That we just don't care.
Yeah.
So it doesn't in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter?
It doesn't impact us. No. Right. Yeah. I mean, I love you whether it's 17 or 19.
Yeah. And we don't get ourselves the ascribed gifts for the years.
Yeah, no.
Because that's
a waste of money for us. Like, I don't want a token, like, check the box item.
Yeah.
Like, I want, like, when you bring me a present. You're like,
why didn't they just make chocolate the thing for every year?
No, well, here's the thing. Like,
maybe throw in a wine.
When you and kid go shopping for, like, Mother's Day, you guys come back with stuff that, like, you know that I like. And none of it is standard fare.
Right.
None of it matches. Like,
you like trinkets.
I love trinkets and chocolates and toys and things that make you smile.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And wine. Lots of wine.
Speaking of which, we need to go get some of that stuff.
I'm going to go get some wine at your mom's house.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us, everybody. Sorry to cut off your bye. This was our first live Sunday podcast on Discord. Mm-hmm. As always, there will be a link in the show notes. It happens at 2 p.m. Eastern once a month. You can get onto the Discord channel and you can actually get a reminder sent to you if you link into the event. And then we'd love to see you here. You know, we're trying to do a different time frame to help some people that can't normally get into our live events. So
the one on Tuesday.
The one on Tuesdays
at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah,
and that's every Tuesday.
Right. We have a pretty fairly regular crowd for that one, but we'd love to build up the Sunday one because we've got friends that we miss, and that's kind of why we started this because they can't make those 10 p.m. Eastern ones. Yeah. So, but we're done.
We're done.
Bye.
It's Grease, baby.
Wife!
Do you know what we're doing today?
Well, first of all, we're back.
We're back!
Baby! And we apologize for being gone. There has been some things that couldn't be avoided. So
death in the family, stuff like that. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. House sitting, cats. I clean cat barf.
That's fun. That's fun.
That was not fun.
No, it's not.
Because it wasn't even my fucking cat. Anyways, go on.
Right, yeah. So we're doing a special today.
We are.
And we're doing it live on Discord right now.
Tuesdays at 10, baby.
Yeah. Be there or don't, be there. But, we'd prefer you be there. So
obviously.
Yeah. I don't think it's possible for people to be a square. But, I mean, people say that. I just don't,
Well, I think a square, they mean, you're not cool.
I know what they mean. Well, it's just such a weird phrase, though.
Nobody ever told me what, you're such a square.
Right?
But I figured it out. It's a double L. It's a double L. You put them. You're a double loser.
Wow.
Right?
I just found that out just now.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was what that was.
Right? Huh. I was like, I only found that out a year ago.
Wow. Is that for real, the origin of that?
I have no idea, but I like it.
I mean,
I just wish I would have known it.
Sounds legitimate, but I mean, I don't know, I question it a bit, but it sounds like it could have been the case. Mm-hmm. I just never heard anybody explain it before.
No, me neither.
So anyway,
don't be a square.
We're not talking about being a square.
Don't be double loser.
Right, but we're talking about...
we're talking about prophets versus priests, because a while ago, we had talked about, I can't remember who it was, but somebody was a priest but not a prophet, or a prophet but not a priest, and I can't remember which was which. And we were like, what? I thought all prophets were priests, and we were confused about it. And that little nugget stayed in the back of my mind, and I was like, we have got to figure this out.
Right.
And so that's what we're talking about today.
Prophets versus priests. Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you ready to do this?
I am. Are you?
I think so.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okie dokie. All right, so let's talk about prophets and priests and if they are both the same or not the same, or one is the other. And
yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah. So listen to this.
I'm listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate. If you want to just stop after this sentence, you don't even have to listen to the rest, because here's the story. Ready?
Yeah.
Not all prophets were priests, and not all priests were prophets. Okay, that's the TLDR.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have more shit to say, so...
Obviously.
Are you interested in hearing?
I mean, do I have a choice?
We all have choices.
No, I'm just saying. I'm the other half of the podcast here. I don't think I don't get a say in that.
Well, like, I'm not holding you.
Yes,
like,
I absolutely want to hear the rest of it.
Okay. So, priests and prophets, right? They're distinct roles, though occasionally one person might hold both roles. It's completely separate, okay?
All right.
Being a prophet means speaking for God to the people. Okay?
Sure.
So your directions are coming from God, right?
Got it.
Being a priest means acting for the people before God.
Okay. All right.
And their instructions come from the leadership.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So they're complementary roles that sometimes overlap, but they are not the same.
Well, and I may remember this wrong, but I feel like I remember early on talking about some of the prophets that came from families that were part of the priest class.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
That's some of the extra stuff that I brought to the table here.
Got it. Okay.
All right. So let's just do a little more differentiation, okay, just to make it more clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So prophets, okay, their authority comes from a divine calling. God chooses the prophets directly. Okay.
Yeah.
Their roles are not inherited or tied to a tribe or to lineage. Okay. Anybody can be a prophet.
Now you say chosen by God, and I'm hearing chosen by rich families who are part of higher class society.
Not always.
Okay.
Not always.
All right.
Not all prophets are rich people.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's people who either feel called by God or really want people to believe that they feel that they're called by God.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
They often emerge unexpectedly, even from unlikely backgrounds. Again, not always rich.
Okay. All right.
They're often outsiders or critics of the political setup, which will include the priests.
Okay. Yeah.
Their sphere of work is the public square, the wilderness, or the courts.
Okay.
They are a spokesperson for God. They deliver messages that are often urgent or corrective.
Do they hide they do some of the work in their woods? Do they hide behind trees and just pop out and be like, God said, and just surprise people on the road?
Maybe. I wasn't there.
I feel like that'd be fun.
That would be we should just be like, dude, guess what? I'm a prophet.
Right, and just jump out from the woods at people and see how that goes.
I don't want to live in the woods, though.
We don't have to live there. You just spend an hour.
I mean, there's some woods in the park right there by us.
There are.
So we could still live in our house, but then during
just go
the
over
day,
there every once in a while and just pop out of the woods.
when people are walking on because there's walking trails over there through the woods.
And then when people get mad, you're like, I'm just profiting here, man.
I'm a prophet.
Yeah.
Didn't you want your prophecy?
Right.
You want to hear?
Damn.
I'll give you a penny if you want to stick around.
But instead of saying God's word, we should just read fortune cookie sayings.
But the good ones. Oh my God, we had dinner at my parents' house tonight, and they get Chinese food place from a place that still does good fortunes in their fortune cookies.
They weren't terrible.
They were good.
Okay.
Mine said that on Tuesday, your what was it? Your goals and dreams will get clarity or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. And kids said tomorrow you'll get something that gets you rich.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, those are good. Those are fortunes. The kind that we get from the place that we go, the last several places that we've gone, we thought that fortune cookies, they don't do them good anymore.
Right.
Because they're people breathe oxygen. You should breathe more.
Right.
Or some shit like that. Here's a fact. Tuck it in.
Right.
No shit, right?
Yeah. It's not even a fortune.
No, that's not a fortune.
Get out of here with that shit.
Yeah, I don't want that.
You can't call yourself a fortune cookie if you don't have a fortune.
I want the ones that say, things are going to be great, or watch out for Thursday, bad shit's going to come.
Right.
Might as well stay home. Don't get out of bed that day. And then when you call into work, you could be like, but my fortune cookie told me so.
Yeah. Wasn't there something about Tuesdays on one of them?
Literally, that's what I said mine was.
I'm so sorry.
Mine said that on Tuesday, I will get clarity about a dream or a goal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're an idiot. Right. You don't pay attention to me at all.
I was thinking ahead and never mind.
Okay, you're not an idiot. You just don't pay attention to me.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
All right, so anyways, back to prophets, which we're not, but we could be if we wanted to.
Sure.
They may foretell the future, but they more often are about calling people back to covenant faithfulness. Okay. They often call people to repent. Repent.
We heard that quite a bit.
Quite a bit. They can challenge kings, priests, or the people. And we're going to hear about those.
They can. You don't always know how it's going to go, though, I would imagine.
They do some of that shit. And we're going to hear about it.
But we don't hear about the ones that challenged and failed because they probably lost a head or something.
They did not get a book written about them. They often, quote unquote, receive visions, dreams, or divine encounters.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Depends who you ask.
Right.
Like, I could say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so, that was the prophets. Now let's talk about the priests, okay? Their authority comes from their tribal lineage. They must be from the tribe of Levi, specifically the family of Aaron, right?
Which
Moses' brother.
It's a little tossed around later in the Old Testament.
It does, and we're going to hear about one guy who is like, he wasn't from this family, but he is like, he functioned as a prophet. Okay, so he's like he's like grandfathered in. Their office is hereditary. They have to be sons of priests to become priests.
Okay. All right.
Which, I mean, that makes sense. Tribal lineage, right?
Sure. Yeah.
They are institutional insiders. So remember, with the prophets, I said that they often are outsiders that criticize the institution.
Right.
These are the institutional insiders.
But I distinctly also remember hearing many of the prophets criticize other prophets or so-called prophets at the time, at the very least.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I said. They there
I go, not listening again.
Right. They challenge false prophits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
Their sphere of work is the temple or the tabernacle. Okay. So they are inside. They are in the office. They're in the building. Okay. Yeah. So that's the difference between the two.
Got it.
With priests, their role is to perform rituals, sacrifices, and temple duties. They teach and interpret the law, the Torah.
Sure.
They oversee cleanliness, festivals, and religious order.
Okay.
And they act as an intermediary between the people and God in a liturgical sense.
Got it.
So, you know, they're like what you think of a priest, you know?
Right.
You don't talk to God directly. You can ask the priest to talk to God or be like, what do you think God thinks about this?
Sure. But I never really understood that whole, like, to me, the role of a priest or preacher or whatever, when you talk to them as an avenue to talk to God, which I hear a lot from people, always seemed a little weird to me. Like, if you're not talking to them, then I'm just taking your word for it still. You know what I'm saying? Like, God's not...
It's supposed to be that these spiritual leaders have a closer relationship with God. Like, you know, if you take them at their word, right?
Sure.
They have a closer relationship with God. So you're not necessarily asking them, hey, can you tell God that I said XYZ? You're saying, hey, I'm having a hard time understanding this situation, and I don't know what God wants me to do. Or I can't hear the message that God is giving me. Or I don't understand why God would want XYZ.
I guess my point is that if there's prophets and priests, and prophets claim to talk directly to God, why would you ever fucking question or ask the priest?
Prophets don't claim to talk to God. Prophets claim that they get messages from God.
Okay.
Whereas the priests also don't claim to talk to God. They claim to understand based on their lineage. They claim to understand what God wants people to do.
Got it.
Sometimes they're corrupt and sometimes they're not.
I'd say they're more likely corrupt.
Probably.
Than not, but yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
But the majority of them, none of them, either or, claim to talk to God. They either claim to hear God or to understand God.
Sure.
Or to get visions from God. It's definitely a one-way conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And anybody that claims an imaginary being as something that requires other people to give them money and or goods, to me is a scam artist.
Definitely a grifter.
But I'm just, that's my general rule of thumb.
Yeah. But there were some that were both priest and prophet. Okay?
Yeah.
Like priest or prophet. And the answer is, why not both? Right?
Sure.
And so here's a list of the major and minor prophets in the Hebrew Bible who were either definitely, probably, or maybe priests and prophets.
Okay. Yeah.
Or it's the major and minor prophets who definitely, maybe, and might have been priests.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Jeremiah, for surezies, he was definitely a prophet and a priest.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was from a priestly family in Anathoth.
Okay.
Okay. And that was in Jeremiah chapter 1.
Got it.
Okay. Ezekiel, definitely for surezies, a prophet and a priest.
Okay.
And he was explicitly called a priest in exile in the book of Ezekiel.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Zechariah, likely a priest. He's identified as the son of Berechiah, son of Iddo, who was a known priestly family.
Got it.
Okay, so
Okay.
he probably was.
Okay.
Like, we just about assume he was. Different people argue about it, maybe, like, for argument's sake.
Sure.
Like, prove it. Like, I want to know this for sure. Like, what makes you think that? And are you positive?
Yeah.
None of us can be positive. But it is up for debate. But most of us agree, yeah, it's very likely he was.
Right. Right.
And by us, I don't mean me.
Right. Yeah. No, I
Because
got it.
I am not a scholar and I don't talk with those people. Samuel, he's the one that I was telling you about. He was functionally a priest. He was definitely a prophet,
Okay.
but he was not a literary prophet. And I was like, what's a literary prophet versus a prophet?
Sure.
Do you know?
I would assume that a literary prophet actually has read and understood
No.
the Torah.
False.
Oh, okay.
That's not what a literary prophet is.
Well,
So-
I'm wrong.
Right. A literary prophet has a book named after him. And I'm like, wait, Samuel not only has one book, he's got 2 books named after him, 1st and 2nd Samuel.
Yeah.
But
And he's got the good hair.
he does have the good hair, Samuel
Yeah.
with the good hair. But he is not telling the story in first person of his prophecies. Those were written by other people about him. And the books were about the histories of the people. I think Judah.
Okay.
Judea. Okay?
All right.
So that's why he is not considered a literary prophet.
Got it.
He is a prophet, but not a literary prophet. Because he's not telling the story himself. He's
Okay.
not being like, here was like all these prophecies I had.
He had
Let
a
me
lot of
tell you.
upkeep with that hair. You know, like
he did. He was
some-
busy.
his grooming rituals kept him busy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is functionally listed as a priest because he was raised in the temple and he performed priestly duties. But technically he was from the tribe of Ephraim, not Levi.
Oh.
So
Okay.
he wasn't actually legitimately a priest, but
He functioned as one.
he functioned as one and therefore belonged kind of in this category.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So those are the yes, definitely, one likely, and one functionally.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we've got some possibly. Who knows? Okay. Isaiah, possibly. Tradition says he was of royal or priestly lineage, but not explicitly stated.
Right.
So definitely a prophet. Don't know if he was.
Wasn't he
priest.
the one that they said, like, he was born a prophet or something like that? Or there was one of them that was like, God knew him before he came.
I don't think it was
to be or something?
Isaiah.
Okay.
Like in the womb, from the
Yeah,
womb.
I'm trying to remember who that was, but.
I have that coming up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll get there.
No,
I
that's
don't
fine.
I don't remember, but yeah, from the womb.
Got
I
it.
think that was Nehemiah. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, Joel, possibly a prophet. Okay, we don't know. Writings have strong temple themes, but no lineage is stated,
Got
so
it.
we don't know. Okay, another.
We haven't done Joel yet, have we?
Yeah,
We did?
yeah,
Wow. I forgot about Joel.
Billy Joel,
I guess. I don't even recall doing that.
Habakkuk, Habakkuk.
Okay.
He's a prophet, right? These
Yeah.
are all prophets I'm naming. He was possibly a priest. Temple themes, but no personal details given.
Got it.
So don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. And Zephaniah, definitely a prophet. Was he a priest? Possibly. We don't know. He was of royal descent, but no priesthood is mentioned. So
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yep.
And then there's Obadiah and Malachi. We have no idea. We're like, I don't even fucking know.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the other ones were like possibly because, but we don't know. These ones are like, yeah, we don't know anything about their background. Obadiah, nothing.
Got it.
Malachi, nothing. His name means my messenger, but that could possibly be a title, not a person's name, and no background is given about him, so we don't fucking know.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Sure.
All right. So, prophet versus priest.
Yeah,
Ready?
I'm ready.
Like for real verses.
For real verses.
Yeah. Prophets and priests frequently butted heads when their roles were at odds. prophets were often anti-institutional watchdogs. They were the original whistleblowers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Although, having just reread what I wrote, I'm going to take umbrage with what I wrote because you'd have to be on the inside to be a whistleblower. That's a poor use of that phrase.
But if you're an Israelite, aren't you kind of on the inside anyway? Because, it's all God's people.
Not the institution.
Right, not the institution.
Leadership is what I'm talking about.
No, I got it.
So, no. But they were anti-institutional.
Did they have rap battles, though?
The tension between prophets and priests shows up all over the Hebrew Bible, and it reveals deep institutional conflicts between divine authority and religious hierarchy.
Okay.
These weren't just squabbles.
Got it. Yeah.
They were for realsies.
Yeah.
They were spiritual turf wars, rap battles, if you will. And they were over who really spoke for God. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah. Sometimes there were clapbacks. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had Jeremiah versus Pashur. Do you remember this at all?
This really needs to be a series. Like the priest versus prophets, like TikTok, short video, like something, I can see it's forming in my head right now.
Yeah. So Pashur, a priest and chief officer in the temple, has Jeremiah beaten and put in stocks for prophesying doom for Jerusalem.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Jeremiah claps back by renaming him Terror on Every Side. You suck. You're terror on every side.
It's a terrible name.
I know. He predicts his exile and death. And this is one of the most explicit showdowns. A prophet publicly humiliating a high-ranking priest.
Yeah.
Like, he gave him what for, and he told him, you are so ugly, you're terror on every side. Like, I'm trying to make it work, and I just can't.
Right, yeah.
I fucked your mother, and you are terror on every side.
Right.
No, it just doesn't.
Nope.
Yeah. You so ugly, you terror on every side. No, it just doesn't work. Okay, so moving on. Amos versus Amaziah.
Okay.
Amaziah, the priest of Bethel, a royal sanctuary in the northern kingdom, tries to silence Amos by reporting him to King Jeroboam II, telling Amos to go, quote, go prophecy in Judah.
Yeah.
Like, get lost, get out of here, go up there. Amos famously replies that he's no professional prophet. He's just a shepherd boy called by God.
Yeah.
He's from a poor family. Nobody loves him. Then he tells Amaziah, guess what? Your wife's going to become a prostitute and your children will die. Fuck off.
I remember that. It was more of a commentary about Israel than it was about his actual wife, although the story was very much his wife, it was questionable, but yeah.
But that is a much better clapback than your name is now terror on every side.
Right.
Your wife's a whore and your kids are going to die.
Yeah, no, that's a much bigger, stronger put down there, for sure.
And this is a great example of an outsider calling out religious and political corruption, a clear critique of the religious establishment profiting from power.
Okay. All right.
So then we've got, those were the two examples of like face-to-face head off.
Right.
Okay. The rest of these are the one prophet against the institution as a whole. Okay. So we've got Micah versus the corrupt clergy. And we haven't read Micah yet.
Right.
That's the next one. Yeah. But I am going to read this because it fits. Okay.
Sure.
Micah accuses Jerusalem's leaders. Its heads give judgment for a bribe. Its priests teach for a price. Its prophets divine or give oracles for money.
I don't know that the priests ever didn't teach for profit.
Right.
They have always been given, first choice on.
But they're upping is
sure.
Is the
no,
thing.
I got it. I got it.
And the leaders give judgment for a bribe, and then the prophets are like I'll tell you if it's going to rain on Tuesday if you suck my dick or, whatever the going currency is.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So, remember several weeks ago, I couldn't think of the word and I said denomination and you were like, that's not the word. You're using the wrong word.
Yeah.
Currency. That's the word that I wanted. I literally woke up the other night at my mom's house. I sat straight up and I go, currency.
Yeah.
That's the correct word.
Okay. I don't even remember what we were talking about exactly.
It's probably last Tuesday, but
yeah.
I was talking about cigarettes being the going currency in jail. And I don't remember why.
Okay.
I don't know what it was in reference to.
Yeah.
But I did say it. And I said it's the denomination. And I could not remember the fucking word I wanted.
Was this in an actual podcast? Or
Yes.
was this just on the okay?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
So now look at that. Circle back around.
I'm sure it was.
Back.
I can't remember exactly what we were talking about.
Somebody out there remembers. Brady probably remembers.
Right.
And so there it is. Okay?
Yeah.
Currency.
We already did Micah. It's Malachi that's next.
God damn it. They both start with M and I can never remember them. Yeah. I apologize. They both start with M. I knew I was going to do that too. I was like,
well,
wait.
Had a call out from our Discord on that one. So
I really appreciate you guys. and this is why you should join our Discord Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern.
You can keep us on our toes.
Because I'm an idiot. I'm a potato head. Okay, yeah. So currency. And also, we already did Micah. Okay. Anyway, so Micah goes on to say that Zion will be plowed like a field and the temple will become a heap of ruins. His message suggests that religious corruption was rampant. No shit. He lumps priests and false prophets together, see, false prophets,
yeah,
as an immoral religious elite, marking this as real fire and brimstone activism. Okay? Yeah. He's like, y'all suck. This ain't good.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So he, Micah versus corrupt clergy. Okay?
Yeah.
Remember that one time a few weeks ago when I said clergy and Fern was like, did you really just say clergy? And I'm like, goddamn right I did. Because I don't know words. Okay. So now we get Ezekiel versus shepherds of Israel. It's basically priests versus leaders.
Got it. Yeah.
Priests and leaders are the shepherds of Israel. Is what I meant to say. Not priests versus leaders, priests and leaders.
Right.
Okay. So the priests and leaders are shepherds who feed themselves instead of the flock. Womp womp.
Yeah.
God says through Ezekiel, I am against the shepherds. I will rescue my sheep from their mouths. And though directed broadly at the leadership, this includes priests who failed in their duty to protect and guide the people spiritually.
Got it.
Okay. Ezekiel is laying into spiritual leadership that abused trust, not just individuals, but entire systems. So he's mad at the whole enchilada, the whole group of them. Okay. And then now we get to Malachi versus the priests. And this is the one I was like, we haven't read this guy yet. Yeah. Sorry. We did read Micah. We haven't read Malachi.
Okay.
Because that is the last book that we haven't got to. But they both start with M. So I'll never remember ever. I'll never, ever remember Micah from Malachi. Ever. I can't help it. They both start with M.
Hopefully you can at least keep it in mind when we're reading Malachi.
As long as the name is there in the reading that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll have to write it somewhere. I'll have to have a sticky note. Which book am I in again?
Right. Yeah.
I cannot keep that. You know what? I still think that God damn it. If I can think of one actor's name, I can't think of the other one. Dustin Hoffman is one, and shit. Richard Dreyfuss. That's the other one. I cannot tell them apart. I don't know their name, one or the other. If you tell me,
you said that to me before, and I'm like,
I know.
How do you not?
It's not my fault. It's my brain. My brain is nope, those are the same. Those are both banana popsicles.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. They both look the same. They're interchangeable to me.
Yeah.
I can't help it. There's another guy that fits that category too, and I can't remember which one it is. But if you said it, I would know it.
Sure.
But it's one of those older white guys. And it's not
that narrows it down.
who's that fucking Western guy? He's in all the old Westerns.
You're talking about Gene Hoffman?
No,
Cliff.
What's his name?
Not Gene Hoffman.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck you're talking about. Stop guessing.
Yeah.
Okay, the guy that's known... No, he's not known for old Westerns. He's known for one specific Western.
Jesus.
Okay, I'm talking about a guy whose fucking legacy
Clint
is...
Eastwood.
Clint, not Cliff. Yeah, Clint Eastwood. He is not the one I was thinking of.
That was very... You were very angry at me about...
I was, because fucking no. No, that is not a guy known for Westerns. Why would you say that?
you can't even tell the difference between Micah and Malachi.
I know, but... All right, that's a fair argument. That was a really good comeback. You're right. I have no business judging you when I'm the bigger idiot here. Okay, Malachi, who we have not read yet, versus priests.
Yes,
okay?
yeah.
The priests are offering blemished sacrifices, disrespecting God, and causing people to stumble with bad teaching. So Malachi puts the entire fucking priesthood on blast. He's like, all y'all suck.
Okay.
Again, it's not one rogue priest. Malachi's calling out the entire institution. I took out some of the spoilers.
Okay.
Because
spoilers.
Because we haven't read it yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
So I don't even, this is in order. I don't know why I said that about Micah when Malachi is further down the page, but it starts with an M. It's Richard Hoffman. Fucking goddamn it. Richard Dreyfuss. Oh my God. I deserve to be taken outside and shot. Oh, you guys. I'm sorry. It's been a time.
It has.
Whew, this is me at my best. All right. The last one I have here for an example is Samuel versus King Saul. Okay?
Yeah. I had to stop myself from saying L. Jackson, but
Samuel L. Jackson.
Just the way you said it.
I know. Oh my God. Okay. Speaking of Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, okay. So were there snakes on the plane?
No, even better. He reads aloud this book called Go the Fuck to Sleep.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a play on Goodnight Moon.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, it is the fucking best.
You can't buy the book, you have to buy the audio.
Yeah, because he reads it.
There's no fucking point in getting the book.
Right.
You buy the audio.
Yeah, to hear Samuel L. Jackson reading Go the Fuck to Sleep. Yeah. And we listened to it on Alexa, so I want to say...
This was years ago, yeah.
Yeah. How did we do that? Was it free or something? Was it like a thing that Alexa does?
We purchased it.
Did we?
And then we purchased the audiobook and then it was available.
Was it through Audible or something?
Probably. Yeah, I don't know.
But it wasn't expensive. I do know that. No. It was only like $1.99 or some shit because it's a kid's book.
Right. And to hear Samuel L. Jackson read it.
Oh my God. You guys.
Worth it.
You have got to do it. If you have not heard Samuel L. Jackson read Go the Fuck to Sleep, you are missing out on life.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's so funny and stupid. I love it. Okay. So not Samuel L. Jackson, just Samuel with the good hair.
Yeah.
Versus King Saul. Though not a Levite, Samuel judges, prophesies, and performs sacrifices. He rebukes King Saul for offering sacrifices without priestly authority. So in one sense, Samuel becomes a check on both priesthood and monarchy.
But how much credit can we give the guy if he doesn't actually, meet the criteria of God's, chosen people?
Sorry, you were born in the wrong family. Fuck off.
Right, yeah. But he doesn't count.
Anytime I see...
The hair only gets you so far.
Anytime I see somebody say that they put a check on somebody, all I can think is check, baby, 1, 2, 3, 4, check, baby, 1, 2, 3, check, baby, 1, 2, check, baby, and then, the song. All I want to do is zoom, a zoom, 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 and a boom, boom, just shake your bum.
I think we fucked up. Is it Samson? It's Samson with the good hair.
Oh, shit.
Thank you.
Oh, God damn it. We're such bad Bible readers.
This is a bad episode.
It's so
We're fucking
bad.
up so much.
That's why it's a bonus. It's not just me at my best, it's us at our best.
Yeah,
this is the shit y'all come for.
I could have sworn it was Samuel. I guess not so much.
Well, I take it back then.
No, I mean,
everything I said about
as soon as
him.
it was written, I was like, oh yeah, that's what it was.
My bad. Right. Somehow that feels like it killed all the joy in the room.
Maybe just a little bit. That's right. We'll get it back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I reached the conclusion.
Oh,
and you know how
joy all around.
It says conclusion at the top.
Yeah, I see that.
I wrote that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Priests and prophets represented different directions of communication. A priest offered sacrifices and intercession, not intersection, and not sex, certainly. A priest offered sacrifices and intercession up to God on behalf of the people, whereas a prophet delivered messages down from God to the people.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
If the temple is a two-way radio, the priest is pressing send while the prophet is pressing receive.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Except that not really, because the priest is not really talking to God.
Right.
So that's a bad example now that I think about it. I really fucked this up like all the way through.
Well, but there's a lot of people that claim that priests do talk to God. They just,
I don't know about that.
I mean, there was even a point where, what was it? There was that priest in, back when Moses was around, I think, when they had their baby and then they put in they did a prayer to God, and I don't know. But there was definitely mention of the priests being able to talk to God at some points in the Bible.
I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
It was Moses. It was
But I have no memory.
It wasn't Moses, but it was like there was a lady that was able to have a baby because she prayed to God in front of the priest, and I don't remember exactly how the story went, but it's a famous.
That was one of those Elisha. Wasn't it?
I don't recall.
I think it was one of the Elijahs.
Anyway, God let she did a prayer, and then it went up to God, and then she got her baby.
Okay.
That's all.
That's
all I was getting at.
I would have to care so much more to remember all this stuff, and I want to care. I really do, but the fact of the matter is I don't. And it's not that I don't care about the podcast, and it's not that I don't care about history, and it's not that I don't care about the people that listen. Those are all my favorite things about what we do. But the people in the Bible themselves,
I think it would help us care about the whole, who this person was, who that person was, if there wasn't so much bullshit intermixed throughout the whole Bible.
Maybe.
That you
maybe if Christianity wasn't so stupid, I would care more. when I just have no incentive.
It's just you can only hear about God mass murdering people so many times before you start being this guy's not a good. If he were real, I don't want anything to do with him.
Okay, but
and
here's
so
another
therefore
thing.
I don't really care about the people that talk for him or talk about him.
But here's another thing. I don't even try because honestly, I don't even remember stuff that I actually truly do care about. I don't remember a lot of stuff. Remember the time when this was just last week, we scheduled a dinner at your mom's on the same day at the exact fucking same time.
Yes.
As a live Discord on Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I don't remember stuff that actually impacts my day-to-day life. And the names of these people just don't. So
right, it's the stories that are supposed to be the stories should hold. The people don't really matter, right? Samuel and Jeremiah and Isaiah, these people are all dead and long gone, right? Yeah. So the stories are what are supposed to hold weight for us and mean something to us in the present, right?
Supposedly.
If we're taking spirituality,
if we're Jewish
at
or
face
Christian,
value and all these things,
sure.
Right? Except the stories themselves are terrible.
They're stupid
they're
or
not
bad.
Good, and they're not if I were to define what I thought holy was before we started reading this Bible, it's not what I've read in the Old Testament.
Right.
That's not what I imagined holy or godly or religion in general to be.
Right.
It's just not. It's fucking terrible human beings doing terrible things to each other in the name of a god.
And land.
Right. And
honestly, it's a land grab.
At that point, I'm like, I don't fucking care. I retain more because I'm like, just because I'm able to listen, you're reading, so like I'm able to pick up on some things, but I still do a terrible job.
But you have a better memory than I do anyway. So if we were both sitting down to try, like you would automatically remember more than me because your retention is better.
Sure.
I don't have retention. My point is I don't have retention even when I care. So can you imagine if I fucking don't?
Right.
That's all I mean.
Right. And let's be honest. I mean, you and I have talked about this. I don't think that our with regard to this podcast, I don't think that our journey through the Bible will even be complete after we finish the Bible.
Oh no.
There's just so much to dig into. Mm-hmm. There's so many little nuanced things to go back through, and there's so many different ways to look at that through historical lenses, through different, just different ways to look at all this stuff, that you can study this the rest of your life and never really learn it all.
You know what really, like, I'm kind of stuck because I know after we finish the traditional Old Testament, we're going to do some of the other stuff like the Maccabees and shit like that should have been included in the Old Testament, or that
the Apocrypha.
Yeah, that the Catholics or the whatever other groups like that they do include, but that standard Christians don't for whatever reason. Blah blah blah.
Right.
So as soon as we finish all that, then we're supposed to like go into the New Testament. Like I'm so uninterested in the New Testament because like Christianity just pisses me off so much that I kind of wish, like, I've already been going through and taking notes on, but if I reread the Old Testament like in order chronologically rather than in the order that the books are listed, like how would that look? And what would those notes look like? And knowing what I know now, like how would those conversations go? I'm like, that's the project that I want to do, but we have to do the New Testament and read about Jesus.
Well, but I mean, I think that this is we need that once over.
No, we do.
We can go back through and dig in more.
No, I know. I'm just telling you, like, yes, I want to do this project. I want to be able to say, no, I fucking read the whole Bible. So yes, that is the plan. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there is a part of me that's like already eager to go back and redo this, but from a different way.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
Like you said, we'll never be done with this because there's just always so much other stuff that we can do.
Yeah.
Other ways that we can fuck it up.
Oh, yeah.
Countless ways that wife can be stupid. Okay, but we were at the conclusion, so let's get back to this.
Yeah.
Okay, so another way to think about this is that prophets are equivalent to conscience, and the priests represent institution.
Okay.
I think that is being a very, from a prophet's perspective, maybe like we're the good ones. The priests are just like, the ones appointed by men to support men for men. Whereas the prophets,
but the Levites themselves were appointed by God, according to the Bible.
Yeah.
So the priests were appointed by God. The prophets weren't appointed by anybody but themselves because they're talking, or because God is talking to them.
They say that God is calling them.
Right, but that doesn't mean I would think they're sane, let alone a prophet. You know, in at least in today's context. So I don't understand why that.
So
makes,
basically, it's kind of like old money versus new money. It's the rich eating the rich, and it's both sides of bad. It's somebody outside criticizing the institution, and they may be criticizing the institution because the institution is corrupt, or they may be criticizing it because the mouth on the outside is corrupt.
Sure.
Like, you don't know.
Or in Ezekiel's case, you just had a bad acid trip.
I mean, that's true. That's true. So, I don't know. I feel like they all suck, basically.
Sure.
But when the priesthood strayed into power-hungry, ritual-for-profit territory, the prophets were called by God to call them back is supposedly what we're supposed to take from all of this.
Got it.
Okay.
Prophets are God's check on the priesthood.
Exactly. The prophets weren't against ritual itself, but against ritual divorced from justice.
Sure.
Or, fill in the blank
Or
with
meaning, or
goodness,
right.
or heart, or spirit,
Sure.
or, doing what you're supposed to do, being right with God.
Right.
Ultimately.
Yep.
A final note is that when we get to where we are now, you notice that going forward, the priests rise and the prophets fade. In post-exilic Judaism, priests, the human appointed leaders, gain more institutional power, especially under Ezra and Nehemiah, while the prophets, the God-appointed leaders, appear less frequently. By the time of the Second Temple, prophecy was seen as ceased or diminished. And this sets the stage for apocalyptic literature to emerge, like Daniel, filling that prophetic void with a new kind of visionary writing. And that's where we're ending today.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I just thought that was like an interesting, because, we don't see prophets today. I mean, we see people that claim to be prophets left and right.
Sure.
But I think that for somebody to be accepted as a prophet, the entire faith would have to accept them as such.
Right. But obviously that wasn't always the case even back in the Old Testament, though. Because the priests were trying to kick them out. They had contention.
That is true.
And so these are just the texts that made it through. Whether for convenience on the other end of this or not is, something we'll never know, because history has lost who exactly wrote these and why they wrote them, and things like that. Most of the prophets' books that we read, while some of them may have been written by that person, much of the book is mixed in with stuff that was written much later, generally speaking.
That's true.
So were these prophets a matter of convenience to fix storylines, to rewrite the history of their God? I mean, that to me is what a lot of it seems like. Mm-hmm. And I don't really see them as holding any special sway in their time, other than they're a convenient story to fix what was going wrong as it was perceived later on. Yeah.
And then when we talk about prophets versus priests today, this is like Christianity land. So
right.
How does that even apply? I would think that with, Jesus or what the fuck ever being the way to God, that there's not a need for either priests or prophets.
Well, there's a lot of the far right, Christian nationalist church type things that are out there that perceive Christianity as being too leftist, right?
Yeah,
so they're calling out the priesthood.
Jesus is too woke.
These people that are posing as quote unquote prophets are generally right leaning, preachers or whatever,
Yeah.
And so they're pitching themselves as this call out of traditional or modern Christianity, right?
Right.
And they're setting themselves up for this holy war between the far right and the left of the Christian. It's just it makes sense, because if you look at things from the Old Testament standpoint, that's exactly the image that they're going for. They're going for that fight against the ones that are going the wrong way, according to them.
Right.
I don't believe these people at all. And moreover, I think they're pitching terrible messages, because it's generally hate that they're pitching, mm-hmm. right? But that's why they're using the name. That's why they're calling themselves prophets, because they want to set themselves up as as God talking to them, correcting what they perceive as wrong.
Right.
So
that makes sense. It's all bad and dumb, and I hate it.
Yes, indeed. As well as there are many other things in the world at the moment that are bad and dumb and wrong, and
Jesus
we could go on all night about that, but we're not going to. Hope everyone is safe out there, especially if you're listening out in California, or if you're a House member in New Jersey. So either way,
to all our migrant friends, you know, if they're listening, or to all our LGBTQIA plus fans during the month, particularly of Pride.
Yes.
Happy Pride. And I know it's not a happy time, but particularly with the attack on trans people, we see you. You're not invisible. I am bi, so, and Kid is non-binary and identifies as they, them, and aromantic and asexual. So, like, we embrace and are part of the community and love all of you.
Yes. And it needs to be said right now.
It does. So that's why I tacked that on, because it does need to be acknowledged.
Yeah. Sorry for the lapse in episodes, everybody. We already explained we've had some things going on that we had to step away for a minute.
I'm home, though.
Yeah. So we're back. Hopefully we will make this. We'll be back again, hopefully tomorrow. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Stay safe, guys.
Yep. Bye.
Bye. Husband,
Wife.
do you know what we're doing today?
Well, this is a special episode.
It is. It's so special.
And I think it's going to be with, like, religious stuff that we're talking about.
Go figure. An atheist podcast.
I mean,
talking
you know,
about
sometimes
religion.
we talk about politics. Sometimes we talk about movies. Sometimes we just kind of talk about whatever. But today, we're talking about religion.
Here's the thing. On Sunday, we were talking about, I don't remember what. But
On our special Discord episode.
Yes.
That's once a month on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
We were talking about something, and I was like, but don't all three Abrahamic faiths worship the same God? And that's like, they're called Abrahamic faiths. Like, don't they have the same God? And you were like, And I was like trying to nail you down so hard. I wasn't trying to nail you. I was just trying to nail you down. And you were like, I'm not going to
That doesn't happen until the New Testament.
Yeah. You were like, I don't know. I know, I talk right over it. Jesus and his nails. Get out of here, would you?
Right.
And so I was like, but I want to know. Is it the same God or isn't it? And so I was like, fine, I'll look it up. And so I did.
I don't speak with authority about anything unless I actually know about it.
Right. And that's why you're the leader and I'm the questioner and the assistant and the researcher. And I have the freedom to, like, I have the freedom to be dumb, basically. Like, I'm the potato head one, you know?
You keep me on my toes, for sure. Because I have to sit here and, like, fact check you as much as I'm able to.
Right.
In real time.
I'm so enthusiastic, and sometimes I'm enthusiastically mistaken.
Yeah. So today we're doing, this is a Patreon only. So this is, if you're not a patron, you should join us. It's just $2 a month, and you can listen to the rest of this episode and all the other special episodes. And you can do that at patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse.
And the link is always in the show notes and at the top of our website.
Wife's gotten it. Yeah, wife's got it. Yeah. And you can always join us on Discord for these as well, because this is our Tuesday special episode, which we also do on Discord at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Every Tuesday.
So these, if it's going to be a Patreon episode that's not heard by everybody, you can always catch it for free on Discord.
If you hit us in time.
And those links are always in the show notes and on our webpage as well.
They are. Because we want you to come play with us.
Right.
And make fun of me.
Well, that being said, what are we getting into? Like, what's the subject? What are we covering again?
The main questions that I had were, when did Islam and Christianity split from Judaism? And is it the same God? Like, are those three faiths talking about the same God?
Got it.
I just wanted an answer.
Sure.
So I was like, that sounds like an episode.
Okay.
And I definitely am not, like, going into this in a very scholarly deep. This is very surface level.
Okay.
Because that's not what we're about.
You just wanted to find out what the answer was.
Yeah. What's the fucking answer?
You wanted to know what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you ready to do this?
I am.
Let's do it.
Okie dokie. All right, we are going to get into this, and I have a question for you, husband.
Okay.
Do you even have a slight clue? When did Islam and Christianity each split from Judaism?
Well, I would say that Christianity was in the 100s or thereabouts.
Thereabouts. Because that's when Jesus was born.
I believe that.
Otherwise, you wouldn't know.
Islam split around the 800s, if I'm correct.
Almost.
Okay.
That's
Right.
pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So Christianity time frame is, as you said, the first century, because, our entire fucking timeline is based on the 0 year of when Christ was born.
Right.
Christianity began as a Jewish sect in Roman-occupied Judea. If you were here on Sunday, you got to hear us talk about Greece right before. Greece, baby!
Yeah.
Right before it got overtaken by Rome.
Right. And you
So-
can still go back and listen to that.
Yeah,
So,
you can. It's a really good episode.
Yeah.
Early followers of Jesus, including Jesus himself, because he's like a dog following his own tail, right? Trying to
Was
catch his
he?
tail. Well, early followers of Jesus, including Jesus,
Well, I mean,
were
yeah.
Jewish. Did you know Jesus was a Jew?
Well, yeah, he
I
was
know.
basically just a prophet.
I know.
I
know.
So, I mean, if
I
he
was saying
existed
that,
or whatever.
I was saying that tongue in cheek because there are some Christians out there who are like blasphemy, and I'm like, I don't think you understand your Jesus very well.
They don't.
Right.
Yeah.
They're shocked if you tell them that. They're like, Jesus was a Jew? It's like, yeah, and teachers live outside of schools. Did you know that?
Right.
There are things that,
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe, leave an Apple review, join us on Twitter, support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks!
Okay, bye.